Arrowhead with 3 back deep. The furthest back is Jagger Marvin. And Marvin's going to field the ball at the 5-yard line, middle of the field. He brings it straight up now, cuts outside, hash marks. He has some room on the near sideline, the 30, the 35, and he's going to be dragged out of bounds at the 36-yard line. On the tackle was Mitchell Grothy for Arrowhead.
Jagger Marvin, he is the 5'10", 150-pound junior running back for the Hudson Raiders. Also does a lot of punt and kickoff returns. Not real big, but very fast. He had a very good game last week against Greenfield. They expect Jagger to be one of the key running backs all season long, along with Andre Burgess, Aaron Squires, amongst a host of others. Hudson primarily is a run-first offense, pass second. We'll have to see if they maybe mix it up a little bit here tonight.
And they got 2 wings out there right now, and Squires behind Stubendick in the backfield. Stubendick, a junior, had 31 yards passing last week. He hands it off to Squires, and Squires tries the middle of the field against that tough defense. He'll pick up a yard to the 36-yard line, bring up a 2nd down and 9 for Hudson.
Again, you can email us here at the booth at Pfeiffer Field, Taraska Stadium down here in beautiful Heartland, Wisconsin. Very easy to do. Click on the Email Us link on your game tracker screen. You can let us know who you are, where you're listening from, and who you're cheering for tonight.
Andres Burgess out on the right side, and Jagger Marvin comes around to take the pitch, going to the right. Marvin gets outside the numbers, and he's going to be dragged down at the 38-yard line. It'll be a gain of 2, bring up 3rd down and 6 for Hudson.
I want to say a quick hello to Cody Ortner. You probably recognize the name. He called the game with me last week in Middleton against Greenfield, and Cody was unable to make it tonight. Don stepped in, saved the day. He says, enjoying the broadcast, and Cody, good to hear from you.
Hello, Cody. 1 receiver split out wide to the right, 1 to the left for Hudson. Moving in the backfield is Burgess, and now Stubendick, he backs out of from under center. Wings on each side. The fullback is Squires, standing a couple of yards behind Stubendick. Fakes the handoff. Stubendick on the pitch over to the right side, gets it to Marvin, and Marvin's going to be forced out of bounds short of the 44-yard line or 45-yard line. Be a pickup of about 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down and 2.
And Adam Cowles, as he has done traditionally, without hesitation, without second thought, is going for it here in 4th on their opening possession.
Tight ends on each side of the line. It's everybody's close together. 1 receiver just a couple yards off the line on the left side. Squires down, both hands on the ground behind Stubendick. Into the backfield is Burgess. He now goes back off to the right side, and a timeout is going to be taken by Hudson with 10:38 to play in the first quarter. No score. They have a big play coming up here, 4th and 2, John.
Well, I wondered if they were going to try to go with a hard count and pull them off sides, and if that didn't work, bring the punting crew on and just punt it out of there. I want to reiterate my keys to the game here. For Hudson, is controlling the line of scrimmage. I think that's true always, but also controlling the time of possession. They're going to have to win that time of possession, keep the ball, keep the Arrowhead offense off the field, limiting mistakes, penalties, and turnovers, and winning the field position battle. They got a good return. Marvin had a good kickoff return. They got pretty good starting field position, got into 3rd and long, and was able to come up to 4th and short, but that's exactly what they're doing here, Don. They've decided the hard count didn't work. Bring in the punting team. They're going to punt it away.
Yep, on to punt for Hudson is Devin Dalton. Becker back deep for Arrowhead. Dalton standing back at the 29-yard line of scrimmage. The 43 gets off a high but short punt. It's going to hit at the Arrowhead 39 and go out of bounds at the Arrowhead 38-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Arrowhead at their own 38-yard line as they start this drive with 10:31 to play in our first quarter.
A pretty good opening possession, or pretty good opening field position, I should say, for the Arrowhead Warhawks. And now we're going to see the backup quarterback again. Arrowhead's starting quarterback not playing tonight, injured in the second half against Homestead last week. Let's see how the number 2 man does.
So they use that spread offense, 1 back in the backfield, Case in the shotgun. He fakes the handoff on the receiver coming on the jet sweep, and he's going to be taken down the backfield. It's going to be a loss of a yard, and Hudson saying that he fumbled. There's a pile, and this could be a big play early, and Hudson does. They recover the fumble. It's going to be Hudson football, 1st and 10 at the Arrowhead 36-yard line.
And the big pile up in the middle of the field, Don, I didn't see it, but obviously that ball popped loose before going down. The Hudson defensive line really showed me some good things against Greenfield last week, even though they did give up quite a few points. There's definitely some size there, and we'll talk about some of the guys anchoring this line, but they converged in the middle very well, and somehow that ball popped out. Great break early on here for the Raiders.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Hudson at the 37-yard line of Heartland Arrowhead. Receivers split out each way. The three backs off to the left side is Jager, and he comes in motion. Under pressure is Stubendick, and Stubendick tries to pitch it off to Squires, but it's short as Stubendick was being pressured by three red jerseys back at the 45-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Good penetration that time by the Arrowhead defense. They brought a linebacker in, and a couple defensive linemen got through as well. Of course, Max Stubendick, the 5'9", 150-pound junior quarterback. We're probably going to see a quarterback rotation between Max Stubendick and Kaiser Helterbrand tonight. At least that's what we saw in week 1 against Greenfield.
Squire takes the handoff. Good hard run over the right guard. Squire still on his feet across the 35 down to the 32-yard line. A pickup of 5 will make it 3rd and 5 for Hudson.
Aaron Squires, he's kind of the bigger back to the smaller Marvin and Burgess, 6'1", 185. He's a junior as well. Had a pretty good game last week against Greenfield, consistently getting 3, 4, 5 yards a crack, and puts him into a pretty good 3rd and 5 position.
3rd and 5 at the Heartland Arrowhead 32-yard line. Handoff again to Squire. Tries the middle of that defensive line and not going to get much. Picks up a yard to the 31-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th and 4, and I imagine we're going to see that Hudson go for it in this situation.
Jake Powell, the 6'2", 235-pound defensive lineman, the senior for Heartland Arrowhead amongst a host of others, was clogging up the middle here, and looks like this time Hudson is going to roll the dice here in a much better field position trying to sustain this drive.
They have a receiver split out to the right. Receiver on the left side is just off the line, the tight end spot. Stubendick looking to pass, rolling out to his right, firing towards the sideline. A great catch over there by Thomas Newell, and it's going to be enough for a 1st down to the 24-yard line of Heartland Arrowhead. A pickup of 7 on the play.
Gutsy play by Max Stubendick there, going to the air on 4th and 4, just kind of a down-and-out pattern. Good coverage. The pass was where it needed to be. Again, in high school football, just like Division I college, you only have to get 1 foot in. He got it in. 1st down Raiders.
Carls and Newell off to the left side. In motion now is Burgess. Burgess takes the handoff on the pitch going to the left. Burgess at 20, the 15, and he's going to be whipped down at the 11-yard line of Arrowhead. A big pickup of 13 yards on the play, and they'll move the chains again. A 1st and 10 at the Heartland Arrowhead 11-yard line.
And the Hudson Raiders going with that hurry-up offense. They don't like to huddle. They like to keep things moving with the goal of keeping the defense off their heels there. It's almost like a 2-minute hurry-up offense, so they're quick to the line.
Marvin in the H-back spot on the left side. The handoff to Squires. A lot of room up the middle. The 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders. Squires, an 11-yard TD run, gives Hudson a 6-0 lead with 8:46 to play here in the 1st quarter.
Well, the Hudson Raiders capitalizing on that early turnover. It's going to be a turnover battle. It's one of the intangibles, one of the things that Hudson's going to have to do tonight to come out of here with an upset win, and they did it on that drive. A very gutsy 4th down conversion, followed by Aaron Squires punching it in, and we got a Raider lead.
Helterbrand out to try and make it a 7-point lead. Snap is there, hold is down, kick is up, and it is good. So Helterbrand's extra point, and just like that, Hudson has a 7-zip lead off of the fumble by Henry Case in his first start for Heartland Arrowhead, his first carry, and he ended up coughing it up, and Hudson able to recover and turn it into 7 points.
Well, a very good start for the Hudson Raiders after they weren't able to do a whole lot on their first offensive possession, ended up punting it away, but they took advantage of that fumble, and it was, I didn't see the ball pop out, but obviously it did, and Hudson was able to recover it, converted that crucial 4th and 4, and Squires with a nice run there to seal the deal. If you were going to quick go to the MSBN email bag, Scott Rubin emailing in saying, "Go Raiders." Scott, good to hear from you. Isaac Carranza said, "Shout out to my son number 3, Jaden Carranza. Sorry we couldn't make it. He's home watching it, saying, "Go Raider Nation." So Isaac, thank you for emailing in. Andy Nelson emailing in, watching the game here and enjoying it. Again, you can click on the email us link in your game tracker screen. Very easy to do. We'd love hearing from you. Last week in Greenfield we had about 35 emails. Hopefully we can meet that and more tonight here in Heartland. And you can let us know who you are, where you're listening from, who you're cheering for tonight, thoughts on the broadcast, thoughts on sports. And thoughts on this early Hudson lead?
7-0 with 8:46 to play here in the first quarter. Pollig tees it up. Ready to kick off right to left is Pollig as he approaches the football. Line drive kick, angling off towards the right side. It's taken in at the 6-yard line by Zachary Hastings, and Hastings will get up across the 25 and be taken down at the 27-yard line. Heartland Arrowhead will start with it 1st and 10 at their own 27.
Of course, this game week number 2 of this season. Hudson has a very interesting schedule this year. First 4 games on the road. We're at Middleton last week in a neutral site against Greenfield. Down here at Heartland Arrowhead. We're at Eau Claire North next week, and then up to Superior the week after that. About 1,600 miles of travel for the first 4 weeks for this Hudson crew.
1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right for Heartland Arrowhead. Case puts his receiver on the left side into motion and gives it off to Papandrea off to the left side, outside the numbers at the 30. A swarm of white jerseys pulls him down at the 32-yard line. A gain of 6 for Papandrea. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for Heartland Arrowhead.
Heartland Arrowhead had 180 yards rushing. 184 yards rushing last week against Homestead. 44 attempts, 184 yards, about a 4.2 average, and they did have that touchdown. They actually had more yards rushing than passing, which is a little bit different for them.
Case hands off to Papandrea. He goes up the middle. He breaks free, 40, and then he's going to be taken down at the 42-yard line. On the tackle for Hudson was Devin Dalton. It'll be a pickup of 10 and a 1st down for Heartland Arrowhead.
Nice run for Spencer Papandrea. Not a big guy, 5'7", but he's got some weight, 180 pounds, senior running back for the Warhawks. Nice carry, and the Warhawks are on the move again.
Dalton with the tackle again for Hudson. Once again, a hurry up. Both teams trips to the right for Case. It's Papandrea to his right as well. Gives it to Papandrea. They had a little trouble with that handoff. Papandrea tries off of left tackle, and he's going to be stuck by Dominic Sidimbeko. It'll be a gain of 2, bring up 2nd down and 8.
Liked what I saw last week on several fronts for this Hudson Raider defense. They definitely have some size here, and it's all about converging on the ball. They're very aggressive, very well coached by defensive coordinator Neil Hatfield.
Tetzlaff split out to the left, and now we have a whistle, 2 receivers to the right. And there's a flag that comes out from the side judge. Call is against Heartland Arrowhead. It'll move them back 5 yards and bring up a 2nd down and 12 for the Warhawks back at their own 38-yard line.
Well, as the ball's being marched back, I want to say hello to Cindy Clements. She's watching back home in Hudson, says, "Go Raiders." A special shout out to her grandson, Paul Ruley. She says, wishes she could be there. Cindy, thank you for tuning in tonight.
Case in the shotgun. Papandrea off his right hip. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. That's Tetzlaff. He cuts across on the fake jet sweep. Case going for a home run ball down the near sideline, but Joel Schelp couldn't catch up to it at the 30. Falls incomplete, and he'll bring up a 3rd down and 14 for Heartland Arrowhead.
One thing last week that the defense did get burned a few times. Greenfield was able to convert several 3rd and longs. By 3rd and long, I would quantify that by saying anything 3rd and 8 and longer. And here's the first big 3rd and long the defense is going to face tonight.
Jack Becker out there. He was the leading receiver last week for Heartland Arrowhead. He's wide to the left, 6 catches, 51 yards, and 1 TD. Case looking to pass, stays in the pocket, throwing deep and off the hands of his receiver. That one was intended for J.J. Emke. He couldn't come down with it. Good coverage out there for Hudson. Looked to be Devin Dalton on the coverage. It
was Devin Dalton, was able to get a finger on it there. Nice ball. They went to the air on 3rd and 14. To no surprise there. Hudson had a decent rush, but they were able to survive it, and they force Arrowhead to punt it away on their 2nd offensive possession.
So Hudson will get the ball back here, leading 7-0 with 6:58 to play in our opening quarter. Short punt, angled towards the far sideline, hits at the 31-yard line, picked up at the 25-yard line by Burgess down the far sideline. He's going to go out of bounds. See where they officially mark this. It's going to be at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for Hudson at their own 40. So good starting field position again for Hudson here, John.
Well, so far we're very early on here, about 6:49 to go in the first quarter. Hudson sitting on a 7-0 lead. But one of the keys that I saw was limiting mistakes, taking advantage of any Arrowhead mistakes. They've done that. They've controlled the time of possession, and they've got out to an early lead here. So far, so good on several fronts for Hudson.
Stubendick under center. Burgess goes into the backfield. The handoff goes to Burgess. Burgess with some running room up to midfield before he's whipped down to the ground. Very close to a first down. They might need a measurement for this one. And they're right on the 50-yard line. They're saying, nope, first down. So a 10-yard gain for Burgess, and that is another first down, the fourth of the game for Hudson.
Excellent run by Burgess, but even the blocking was just phenomenal that time by the offensive line of Hudson. That hole you could have drove a truck through.
Going in the backfield is Jager Marvin. The pitch to him on the outside, nothing but green. 30, 20, 10, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at around the 5-yard line. Going to be a pickup. They'll mark it at the 6 of 44 yards. A huge run there, John.
Well, that's that option attack that Hudson throws at you there as the defense collapsed what they thought was the primary ball carrier. The pitch out to the right-hand side of the field, lots of green in front of him. The speed was there, and Hudson inside the 10-yard line looking to open up possibly a 2-touchdown lead on the favored Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks.
Helmer's the tight end on the left side of the formation. Newell split out to the right, and we're going to have an offsides or false start against Hudson, move him back 5 yards. And once again, there's a mental mistake there, John, and Hudson can't afford those in a game against Heartland Arrowhead.
No, you can't. You have to really play a flawless game, your best game, limiting mistakes. Luckily, it isn't too bad, 5 yards, but that kind of changes the play selection there, coming off that big run to get him down here.
First and goal from the 11 now. In motion is Marvin. The handoff goes to Squires. Try in the middle of the field, but a lot of red jerseys to stand him up. They'll give him credit for a yard. It'll be second and goal from the 10-yard line.
As we get ready for second down, we want to say hello to Ryan Hupert. He's watching from Hudson, but he says, go Arrowhead. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but Ryan, thank you for tuning in. We got some other emails. We're going to get to them. Keep those emails coming in. Love to hear from you.
Stubendick gives it off to Squires again. He tries to go to that left side, but he's whipped down right away by Jack Hazard and gets a yard. We'll give him third and goal from the 9-yard line.
And the pitch to Jager Marvin was wide open if they chose to go that route. But to make that pitch, that option pitch play work, you got to give it to the primary sometimes too. Otherwise, they'll just key on the pitch and a short gain there. A big third down coming up.
Third and goal from the 9, 5.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. The pitch goes to Marvin to the outside, the 5, dives for the goal line. Did he get it? Yes!
He did.
Touchdown Raiders! Jager Marvin with a 9-yard TD run gives Hudson a 13-0 lead with 5:22 to play in the first quarter.
If you're a Hudson Raider fan, I know there's a lot of you tuned in tonight, this is an excellent start on the road for this Raider club. 13-0, and this running game is hitting on all cylinders. Marvin, Burgess, Squires, Max Stubendick running the show, looking good.
The extra point is away, and it is good. So with that, Hudson now leads Heartland Arrowhead 14-0 with 5:22 to play here in the first quarter. Arrowhead looking a little stunned on the sidelines, and the crowd down in front of us, what we could hear is silence pretty well right now.
Well, I think it's shades of what happened last year up in Hudson. You know, Hudson got out to that lead again, like I mentioned in the pregame show. Hudson had a 27-7 lead about halfway through the third quarter. And talk about shock. I was one of them. I was probably one of the most shocked in the whole place, pleasantly shocked. But then Heartland Arrowhead just came alive here. So Hudson cannot get complacent by any means, but an excellent start for the visiting Raiders. Want to quick say hello to Carolyn and Glenn Schultz. Way to go, Hudson. Nice job, Aaron. Said, hi, Kyle72. Wish they were there. They're watching back home in Hudson. I know a lot of you were not able to make the trip, so we're glad we could bring this broadcast back home to you wherever you are tonight on this beautiful Friday evening. It says, go Sam Weiss. That one coming in from Suzette. Just cleared from a concussion to be eligible tonight. Hate missing being at your game. Suzette says, go Raiders.
12 carries, 104 yards, and 2 TDs on the ground for Hudson through the first 6.5 minutes of the first quarter. Kickoff towards the left side of the field. It's going to be hauled in, brought up to the 15, the 20, 25, 30. Coming across, breaking free was Hastings. Hastings all the way up to the 35-yard line before he's taken down. They'll say officially the 34. It'll be 1st and 10 for Arrowhead at their own 34-yard line.
Well, I think if you're the Harlan Arrowhead Warhawks, you're a little bit of shock right now, but let's analyze the situation. We're only 5:15. We're only into the first quarter with 5:15 to go. There's a lot of time left. This is a very, very good Harlan Arrowhead Warhawks football team and one of the top programs in the state by far. They just have to maintain the composure and try to get back in it.
Two backs in the backfield flanking Case. The handoff and going not very far is Hastings. He'll pick up a couple of yards up to the 37-yard line. A gain of 2. Well, now the market, the 37. A gain of 3 will give them 2nd down and 7.
We'll get some score updates coming in here. The other 7 Big Rivers Conference teams, all a non-conference action tonight. We'll be filling in with some scores as we go here. And on this beautiful Friday night, week 2 of high school football.
70 degrees at kickoff and partly cloudy. Looking to pass his Case. He's going for the home run again and just overthrows his intended receiver, Jack Becker, down the far sideline. They'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 for Arrowhead.
Bryce Marion had pretty good coverage on that. The 6 foot, 180-pound senior defensive back. Nice ball. Had some time to throw it. Kind of went for the home run and just didn't quite get it.
Tetzlaff will line up off to the right. Becker and Driscoll will be the receivers to the left side. Henry Case in a pistol formation with 2 backs behind him. Hudson steps up. They blitz. Case with a little screen pass to Hastings. Hastings to 40, 45 midfield, and Hastings will be driven down into Hudson Arrowhead territory, Hudson Raiders territory at the 44-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 19 on the pass play.
Really like the play call. The jailbreak screen by Harlan Arrowhead as Hudson had a big-time rush coming in, had 3 players closing in that opened up the middle of the field. The blocking got out in front and a nice gain and a very crucial 3rd down pickup for the Warhawks.
Devin Dalton with the tackle, his 2nd tackle of the game. Case, same formation, hands it off to Hastings. Hastings off right tackle. He'll get spun down, but he picks up that yardage to the 37-yard line, a pickup of 6, and it'll be 2nd down and 4 for Heartland.
And Harlan Arrowhead, much like the Hudson offense, really goes with a hurry up. They don't like to, the traditional huddle and go up to the line. You're seeing that more and more, this kind of hurry up style offense, just like you're seeing the shotgun formation used almost exclusively by the Warhawks, and a 4-receiver set, sometimes even an open backfield.
2 receivers in the backfield next to Case again. 2 receivers off to the left, tight end on the right side of the formation. Hand off to Papandrea, and Papandrea is going to be taken down after a gain of 2 to the 35-yard line. On the tackle for Hudson was Jack Berg.
Also Jake Danielson coming in to help out as well, 5'11", 195-pound senior linebacker. But nice gain that time by Heartland.
Hudson leads 14-zip, 3:20 to play in the first quarter. A 3rd down and 2 for Arrowhead at the Hudson 35-yard line. They split receivers out each way for Henry Case. Case in the shotgun, 2 backs in the backfield, fakes a handoff to Papandrea, looking to his right, going deep for Tetzlaff, and Tetzlaff can't come down with it along the near sideline at the 3-yard line, thrown just a little bit wide, and it'll bring up a 4th down and 2.
Harlan Arrowhead kind of going against convention and going for the long ball on a short 3rd and 2. And of course they are going to go for it here on 4th. This would be huge for the Hudson defense if they could stop him here and stop him on downs and get possession back.
4th and 2 for Arrowhead. They trail 14-0 early on here in the first quarter. 9 minutes expired just about. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Case. He has Papandrea to his right. Case looking to throw. His receiver trips, and it's not going to get there. It'll be a turnover on downs, and there it is. Hudson will take over at the 35-yard line, their own.
Couple interesting play calls on the going to the air on 3rd and 2. You kind of conventional wisdom would say you bang it out, go to the ground, maybe out of an I formation, try to pick up that 4th and 2. They went right back to the air again, misfired, and the Hudson Raiders already sitting on a 14-0 lead. Get the ball back. Great start so far for Hudson.
This equals Hudson's worst starting field position, so not too bad at their own 35-yard line as they come out in the typical formation. Marvin into the backfield, comes around, takes a handoff, and he has Green. 50, 40, 1 to beat, 30. Outside the numbers, the 20 runs out of steam down around the 15-yard line. It's going to be a big gain of about 50 yards. He'll mark him at the 15, so it will be a 50-yard carry for Jager Marvin, the senior, and another first down, 1st and 10 at the 15 of Heartland Arrowhead.
And we are seeing a coming into their own. We're very early on in the season, but this combination of Jager Marvin and Andre Burgess is really lighting it up.
Stubendick under center. He gives to Squires. Squires up the gut. He'll pick up 2, maybe 3, and it'll be 2nd down and 7 for Hudson.
And not to be outdone, Aaron Squires, he's the bigger fullback. He's 6'1", 185, and a junior. He's an excellent third wheel, if you will. There, he scored the first Hudson touchdown. I like how he runs with that big bull with a low center of gravity.
The option, looking to keep it this time, is Stubendick. Stubendick will bowl ahead for a yard to the 12-yard line, and he'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 for Hudson.
I want to say hello to Dick Whitcomb, emailing in, enjoying the broadcast. It says, keep going Raiders. We're getting a lot of emails in. We'll get to them at our next convenience here, and there's a lot of smiles and a lot of claps going on back home in Hudson right now.
And Stubendick is going to audible at the line. He has Newell off to the left side, Ben Carls to the right. He hands it off. Nope, fakes a handoff to Squires. He's hit as he tries to pitch it to Burgess, and Burgess able to track it down, but he's going to lose yardage all the way back to the 18-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 6 on the play.
That's the other side of the coin, if you will, about the pitch plays, is particularly down that far inside the red zone. You know, they lost quite a bit of yardage on that. Now they're forced into a 4th and 13. They're going to go to a field goal attempt. Tough break.
Kaiser Helterbrand, they're going to tee it up on the hash marks at the 25-yard line. So it will be a 35-yard field goal attempt for Helterbrand. Helterbrand's kick, it's a high kick, angling, and good.
And it is good.
Just inside the right upright, and the 35-yard field goal gives Hudson a 17-zip lead with 1:41 to play in our first quarter.
And so, yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, you are reading the MSBN scoreboard correctly. The Hudson Raiders have a 17-0 lead against the Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks, ranked number 2 in the state, have been to the state championship game 4 out of the last 5 years, 20 consecutive years in the playoffs, probably the number 1 Division I team in the state the last 20 years, and your Hudson Raiders are doing it so far, 17-0.
Is this a little reminiscent, though, of last year,
is.
John? We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We're not out of the first quarter on this one yet.
And, Don, you're absolutely right. You know, again, Hudson had a 27-7 lead last year at home against Heartland Arrowhead. And you can't get complacent. A very good start nonetheless. The offense, the running attack that Hudson's throwing at it, particularly Marvin and Burgess, and then you got Squires up the middle, has been just excellent. It really has. You know, they had a couple key 3rd and 4th down conversions to keep drives going. That was a very nice field goal attempt coming off a bad pitch play that lost them some very vital field position. They were able to knock back the field goal anyway, 17-0.
Stubendick with a bad decision to try and pitch that one, as he had 2 Heartland players kind of wrapped around him, 1 high and 1 low, and he couldn't get the full extension on that. Ready for the kickoff, 17-zip is the lead, 1:41 to play. Hudson leads, a line drive kick. It's going to hit at the 10. Becker will field it at the 5. Becker tries to get towards the numbers, and he's going to be dropped before the 20-yard line on the right side of the field, taken down at the 19. The tackle made by Tyrell Busby.
We're going to go into the MSBN email bag now. Shelly Contrero says, go Hudson, watching from Woodbury, Minnesota, watching her nephews, the Danielson brothers. And Shelly says, go Hudson. Want to say hello to Kat Morissette, and it says, Burgess, go Raider Nation. Andre Burgess, sorry I couldn't be there. We're all here watching and love you, the whole team. You're all amazing. That coming in from Kat Morissette. We got a big crowd on hand tonight. Keep those emails coming in. We'll get to some more here at our next opportunity.
2 receivers each way. The jet sweep handoff to Emke, and Emke's going to be taken down in the backfield. In on the tackle for the Hudson Raiders was Cole Goodbow.
Cole Goodbow, he's a big boy, 6'4", 230-pound junior. He had a good game against Greenfield as well, doing some good things in that defensive line. Hudson's got some size this year, and they got some guys not only have the size, they got some speed.
Second down and 11 for Arrowhead. The handoff goes to Papandrea. Papandrea, shifty little back up the middle, gets across the 25 to the 26-yard line. He picks up 8 yards. It'll bring 7 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4.
Want to say hello to Ben Shaw. Of course, we recognize that name from several players in the Hudson Raider football archives, I guess. Looking good. Says Go Raiders. That was coming in from Ben Shaw. Got another special email coming up, too.
3rd and 4. Papandrea takes the handoff, and he's going to get the first down across the 35, right up the middle to the 37-yard line. They pick up a 12, and on that one, Case put it in his gut and then looked to take it away from him, but it was Papandrea that had the ball in the end.
And Arrowhead changing strategy here. You know, they went 3rd and 2 on their last possession, went to the air. 4th and 2 went to the air again, misfired both. They're going back to more of a prominent ground attack here on this possession.
Gives it to Papandrea again, right up the middle. Papandrea across the 40. He'll get up to the 42-yard line on the gain of 4. Might be our last play of the first quarter here. We'll have to see if they can get another one off. 2nd down and 6, inside of 10 seconds left to play here in our opening quarter. It's been all Hudson so far, 17-zip. See if Arrowhead can get this play off before the quarter. No, snap just after the clock's ticked to 0. And after 1 quarter of play, Hudson all over Arrowhead right now, John, 17-zip.
Well, it's an incredible start for Hudson. And Hudson is a fired-up football team. They're motivated. They're coming in here with a purpose. And I want to talk about the history between these two teams. 3 times in the last 4 years, these two teams have met up twice in the state semifinals and the neutral playoffs. Heartland Arrowhead won both of those. Heartland Arrowhead in a non-conference season opener for the Raiders last year up at Newton Field beat them as well. So a 3-game winning streak against the Raiders. But the Raiders are coming in here doing exactly what they need to do, controlling the line of scrimmage, controlling the time of possession, limiting mistakes, taking advantage of Heartland Arrowhead mistakes. They're coming in here unintimidated, not backing down from this very good number 2 ranked Heartland Arrowhead team on the road in this beautiful stadium down here. You know, the past is the past, and they are just playing lights out. And I want to go to the email bag. Caleb Wecken, that's my 4-year-old son, emailing in. I kind of doubt he wrote that, but I said, "You sound great, Daddy, go Hudson." That's Caleb. My mommy, that's my wife Jessica, and Grandpa, that's her father Paul, is visiting, and they're tuning in Hudson tonight, as I'm sure a lot of people are as well.
Case takes the handoff, or gives the handoff to Papandrea. Papandrea across the 45, up near the first down at the 48-yard line. Looks like he's going to be just short, so we'll give him a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about a foot here.
Okay, now they went to the air on 3rd and short last time. We'll have to see. They converted a very key 3rd down earlier in this drive to keep it going. Again, with Hudson, we're only 25% through. Don, you mentioned it, and I reiterate it. They cannot get complacent.
Handoff to Papandrea, hole into Hudson territory. He's gone. 30, 20, down the near sideline, 10-5, touchdown Warhawks.
And the words,
a 53-yard TD run by Papandrea.
The words no more than got out of my mouth, and bang, that 3rd and less than a yard, and Heartland Arrowhead strikes pay dirt on the board, cutting the lead to 17-6.
So Papandrea with the 53-yard TD run. As soon as he got through the heart of that line, he was gone, John. Nobody there.
Absolutely. The blocking was there. The speed was there. That's exactly what Heartland Arrowhead needed to light a spark. You can just read the body language down on the sidelines. They had their heads down. Now they're into it.
Nor's kick is away, and no, he shanks it off to the left. So Alex Nor's, his kick no good, and that makes it 17-6 in favor of Hudson. And for Papandrea, that was his first career TD run last year. He had 86 carries for 386 yards, but didn't get in the end zone. This year, he's now well over 100 yards, and he's got his first career TD.
Well, he definitely showed some speed there, the blocking, and he just got out to the flat there and turned on the jets and scampered away from the rest of the Hudson defenders. And Arrowhead absolutely needed that. And, you know, they cut the lead from 17 down to, well, I got to do my math here, to 11 as they missed the extra point. We're going back to the MSBN email bag here. Brady Patterson said lots of overthrows from Arrowhead. Again, the starting quarterback from the usual starting quarterback for Arrowhead got injured last week against Homestead. This is their backup quarterback. Still a very fine quarterback nonetheless. To play quarterback at Arrowhead, you have to be. But that's true. He has had a few misfires here in the first quarter. So Brady Patterson, thank you for emailing in. Glenn Schultz emailing in. He says we have the logo swapped around on the website, and that was my mistake. Of course, the Arrowhead logo is where the Hudson's supposed to be, and vice versa. That was my mistake, but please disregard that, and we'll get that fixed. Thank you, Glenn.
Burgess fields a kickoff at the 5, straight up the middle, and he is stuck hard at the 18-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Hudson at their own 18-yard line, and now you're seeing life right away from this Arrowhead team, John.
Well, the sleeping bear just got awoken there. You heard the crowd from the Arrowhead fan base below us. A very nice crowd here now that I look out the window in this phenomenal facility. Hudson's got a decent crowd that made the 4-hour trip down to Heartland here. Long drive, but what you don't want to Hudson is to go 3 and out here. Get that offense back going again.
Ball at their 19-yard line. Cole Danielson, the wing player on the left side of the formation. 2 receivers off to the left. In motion, Daniel Olson. Handoff right up the middle. That one taken by Aaron Squires. And Squires, a quick pickup of 6 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
And if they can consistently get, to complement the outside running of Marvin and Burgess, you can consistently get Squires up the middle for 5 and 6 yards a crack, man, that just opens up so much on your offense.
Danielson in motion, handoff to Squires again. Squires up the gut, up to the 30. He gets enough for the 1st down, needed 4, picks up 5, and moves the chains for Hudson, 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Well, as the chain crew gets set again, we want to go back to the MSBN email bag. Andy Summerfield emailing in, said keep up the hard work, guys. Andy, thank you for the email. Quinn Holden emailing in, enjoying the broadcast. And Quinn, thank you for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast tonight.
Coming around, taking that handoff, I believe that was Jager Marvin. He's going to lose a yard back to the 29-yard line. Haven't seen a whole lot of that from Hudson where they've lost yardage on runs. That's just the 2nd time, and the first one was what probably amounts to really a fumble by Stubendick on the last play of the last drive.
Well, their running attack is in full form tonight. I got to credit the offensive line. They're doing an outstanding job.
Looking to pass, Stubendick going deep. And his receiver, Newell, is stopped by the corner. His route seemed to be impeded. No flag comes out. A flag came out right away. Might have been a free play. Conan on the coverage for Heartland Arrowhead.
Of course, we have yet to see Kaiser Helterbrand. We saw a quarterback rotation for Hudson last week. Max Stubendick continued to be in here in the 2nd quarter. They kind of rotated by quarters last week, and the penalty is going to be on Hudson.
An illegal shift against Hudson, checking to see if head coach Fritz Rauch wants to back him up, and he says no. He's going to decline that penalty. So it'll be a 3rd down and 11 for Hudson. Ball at their own 29-yard line. 2 receivers split out to the left. Stubendick under center. In motion is Burgess. The pitch goes to Burgess. Burgess outside on the left side. And he's going to be ridden out of bounds up across the 35 at the 36-yard line by Taylor Mattern. It'll be a pickup of 7, but it's going to bring up a 4th down and 3. And it looks like Hudson's not going to mess around here. They're sending out the punting unit.
Well, Hudson gets in position for the punt. Want to say hello to Jake Miller emailing in. He says, go Raiders. Jake, thank you for tuning in tonight. Emailing in. Karina Bouthé. Emailing in, said, let's go Raiders, keep the momentum going. So proud of you guys. Special shout out, much love to our favorite offensive line coach, Ted Bouthele, from your biggest fans, Torrance, Sloan, and Karina.
Punt nearly blocked as it just got over the line. It's going to take a Hudson roll and will finally be downed at the 25-yard line of Heartland Arrowhead. So that punt will go down as a 39-yarder, no return. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Warhawks at their own 25-yard line.
Now it's up to the Hudson defense. They've been shutting down Heartland Arrowhead, and Heartland Arrowhead had the touchdown scamper on a 3rd and short, and you just felt the momentum shift. Football is a game of momentum, of momentum shifts and momentum swings. Right now, even though Heartland Arrowhead is down 17-6, the momentum is on their side. So I think it's important that the Hudson defense make a stand here, see if they can get the Warhawks to go 3-0.
Hudson leads by 11, 9:44 to play in the first half. 2 receivers each way for Case. Case hands it off, gives to Hastings. Hastings trying to pick his way through that line and nowhere to go. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 9 as Hastings picks up 1 yard.
We got some scores coming in. The Menominee Mustangs at home against the always tough Somerset Spartans. Still early in the first half. Menominee was up 7-0. Somerset has come back and scored and cut that lead to 7-6 back in Menominee.
Sidimbeko on the tackle for Hudson on that play. 2 receivers each way. Case on a keeper. He's going to break it off the left tackle, gets outside the numbers, the 35-yard line, and he'll step out of bounds at the 37-yard line. A gain of 10 on the play, make it a gain of 11, and they'll bring up a 1st down for Heartland Arrowhead.
Want to say hello to Parker Dardine. Said, love the Hudson boys. And Parker says, we should have won last year, though. Hudson was up 27-7, but a ferocious Heartland Arrowhead comeback in the second half, the third quarter, and the fourth, and the Warhawks walked away with the win last year.
3 receivers to the right. Becker isolated on the left side. Case on a keeper, and a great tackle coming off of the end for Hudson by Cole Goodbow. It's going to result in a loss of about a yard and bring up a 2nd down and 11.
I really like what I see with big Cole Goodbow, and I talked to the coaches in the preseason, off season, in the weeks leading up to the first game against Greenfield, and they're very high. They say Cole has some tremendous ability.
Case on a screen pass, and he throws it a little too hard for Shelp. Shelp off his hands. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 11. And Case just 1 of 6 passing in the game for 19 yards for Arrowhead.
Yeah, he's struggled so far tonight. He's kind of been a little bit off. Hudson's had a decent rush on, too. And, again, he was pressed into action due to the injury of their regular starting quarterback last week. And I think probably feeling some jitters out there, and a little pressure, too, being down 17-6.
So a 3rd and 10, a 3rd and 11 make that for Arrowhead. Ball at their 35-yard line. 8.5 minutes to play in the first half. It's an 11-point Hudson lead. Case going for the deep ball to Becker, and him and Becker were not on the same page. It'll bring up a 4th and 11, and Arrowhead sends out the punting unit. Their drive stalls.
Well, I think the Hudson defense needed a stop there. They got it. Arrowhead forced to go to the air on 3rd and long, misfired, and the Warhawks are going to punt it away. Hudson should get fairly decent field position coming out of this punt. Looks like Burgess is back there. Burgess and Marvin to field the punt.
And they're giving them the left side of the field, and that's where they try and angle it to. Nope, actually to the right side of the field. It's going to bounce at the 37-yard line, and it takes a Hudson bounce. I don't know how that stayed in bounds off of 2 high hops, but it'll be a 1st and 10 for Hudson at their own 37-yard line, but just a 27-yard punt on that one.
So pretty good starting field position for the Hudson Raiders, sitting on a 17-6 second quarter lead, 8:13 to go in the quarter. Going to go back into the MSBN email bag. Lots of you on board tonight. I want to thank each and every one of you from tuning in tonight on MSBN's broadcast of Hudson football, wherever you're from. Matt Mueller enjoying the broadcast, saying go Raiders. He's Tanner Gray's Uncle Matt and Grandpa Kathy watching tonight from Arden Hills, Minnesota, over across the St. Croix River. Former Raider Alex Shaw tuned in. Said, keep pounding, guys. Go Raiders. Alex had a great career here for Hudson.
Burgess takes the pitch, and Burgess gets up across the 40 to the 41, but a flag comes in the backfield, and this is probably going to push Hudson back 10 yards, and that is the initial indication is holding. So the second accepted penalty against Hudson for 15 yards in the game. This will make it 1st down and 20, though, back at their 27-yard line.
Yeah, Hold, you just knew from the position where the flag was thrown and, the way the play was playing out that there was going to be a hold. So back Hudson goes. Well, those are the mistakes you have to avoid. Again, Hudson on the road, the underdog here tonight, trying to put together a flawless game. They've done a pretty good job so far, sitting on a 17-6 lead.
And that penalty will go down as an 11-yarder as it happened a little bit in the backfield. And the fumble, ball is loose at the 23-yard line, and Hudson gives it back to Arrowhead as Stubendick tried to put it in the gut of Squires, and the ball just came out.
Well, we know that Hudson took advantage of the Warhawk turnover in the first quarter, and now the Warhawks are going to try to do the same against Hudson. A costly turnover coming off a penalty on the previous play, and the Warhawks starting with very, very good field position on the 24 after Hudson defense pushed them to 3 and out on their previous possession. The Warhawks looking to close the gap now.
They come out two backs in the backfield behind Case. He gives it off, looks to be Hastings. Hastings, nope, that's Papandrea. Papandrea, a little spin move, buys some yardage down to the 16-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8 on the play and bring up a 2nd down and 2.
Well, Papandrea's had a nice had a nice first half here, and you got to wonder, Don, if Arrowhead with the passing problems they've had with their second-string quarterback are going to start featuring more of a ground attack.
And they've only tried to pass twice since that turnover on downs that they had a couple drives ago. Hastings moves to the right side of Case. He gives to Papandrea. Lane off right tackle, and Papandrea untouched into the end zone from 15 yards out. His second TD run of the game. He's now got 124 yards rushing on 11 carries, and it's a 5-point game. Hudson leading 17-12.
Well, one of the keys to victory is being able to take advantage of your opponent's mistakes. Hudson was able to take advantage of a Warhawk turnover in the first quarter. The Warhawks return the favor, if you will, and take advantage of a Hudson turnover deep in their own territory, strike pay dirt, and we're an extra point away from this game going 17-13.
Norris missed his last extra point, but he puts that one through. And so with 7:17 to play in the first half, we have a ball game again. 17-13, Hudson leads Arrowhead, and this one has pretty much been all on the ground. As you said, Arrowhead was trying to pass early on. Case was just off, John, and both teams have been doing all their damage on the ground in this one.
And Case is 1 for 7, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I mean, that obviously that's numbers that are less than stellar, to say the least. In Case is the second string. It showed a little bit, but Heartland Arrowhead has a very, very skilled, very big offensive line, multiple running attack options, and they have scratched and clawed their way back into this. They've cut a 17-point deficit down to 4. Again, going back to last year, not to keep bringing last year up, but a similar situation where Hudson was sitting at one time on a 20-point lead in the third quarter, and Heartland Arrowhead just turned it on. But it's up to Hudson to get back in it. You got to avoid those costly turnovers, and that's what doomed them on that last drive, and we'll see if they can get some good field position coming off this kickoff.
And they got to stop Big Mo right now, does Hudson, John. That's what's working, the biggest thing working against them right now. Nor's kick is going to go to Marvin at the 4-yard line. He puts it away, 10, 15, sidestep, 20. Nice spin move, and up to the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 there for Hudson. A great return by Jager Marvin, as he had a little swim move to buy him some space, and then a spin move to get up to the 25.
Of course, Jager Marvin. I keep wanting to say Braden Marvin. Braden Marvin was his older brother and had a very nice career here for Hudson, now graduated and on to other things. Very similar style, very similar, athletic skill. Neither one real big guys, both very talented, very good runners, and Jager Marvin, very fun to watch.
And now it's Hudson that spreads it out a little bit. 2 receivers each way for Hudson. The handoff goes to Squires, and Squires is going to be taken down in the backfield, as for the first time we're seeing Kaiser Helterbrandt in the game, and that's a loss of 2 for Squires.
And Kaiser Helterbrandt is a different type of quarterback than Max Stubendick, whereas Kaiser Helterbrandt, who's only a sophomore, very highly regarded, really talked about a lot coming off his freshman year last year, did some great things. He's more the pro-style quarterback, 6 foot, 200 pounds, and can really throw.
And he hits Jager out of the backfield. That's going to be good for a 1st down to the far side of the field, up across the 35 to the 36-yard line. It's a gain of 11 on the play, and they move the chains.
Go back quick into the MSBN email bag. Emma Richard emailing in, and she says, "Go Papandrea," and he just scored the touchdown for the Warhawks. We got a few Heartland Arrowhead fans on board.
And the ball may be on the ground again on the handoff to Squires. No, looks like just a loss of a couple of yards. The way that Helterbrand reacted, I thought the ball got placed on the ground, but it's a loss. Oh, they do say it was a fumble and required by Squires for a loss of 2. Second down and 12 now for Hudson. 6 minutes to play in our first half. They lead Arrowhead by 4. Helterbrand looking, throwing, and a nice diving catch. No, it hit the ground. Jager Marvin trying to dive and make the catch outside the far numbers at the 38-yard line, but it hit the ground incomplete, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 12 for Hudson.
Well, this is key, and this is where Kaiser Helterbrand kind of brings that element of that shotgun quarterback. He's got the size, he's got the arm strength. Only a sophomore. Let's see what he can do here on 3rd and long.
3 receivers to the right for Helterbrand. Helterbrand looking for a screen, under pressure, rolling out to his right. Helterbrand, he's going to keep it. Helterbrand, the 40, down the sideline, takes a big stick
Almost
at the 45-yard line by Noah Harvey. A gain of 11 on the play, but we do have a flag. It's going to come back for a hold.
Yeah, and it's on the quarterback scramble there. I was watching it here on our side of the field. Kind of a broken play. Excellent coverage that time by the Warhawks as Helterbrand was forced to scramble. It was either a hold or a block in the back. I guess is a hold. Unfortunately, it's too bad because he was. It would have set up probably on maybe a 4th and 1, 2.
It would have been 4th and 1. So that'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot at the 41-yard line. So it'll move it to the 31. So give them credit for a 7-yard rush. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 14, and a 3rd and 15 now for Hudson.
You really got to avoid the turnover again here. And you're going to try to pick up this 3rd and 15, but you got to avoid a interception or a sack or a fumble here.
And Arrowhead in man coverage. Now they drop a safety back. Helterbrand running to his left, now to his right. Helterbrand has to keep it, the 35, and he's going to be tackled at the 40-yard line. So Helterbrand picks up 9 on the play, but it's going to leave Hudson well short of the first down. A 4th down and 6 coming up, and they're going to send out Poling and the punting unit. And
the sleeping bear that is the Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks has just woken up. The crowd is into it. The players down on the sidelines into it. Hudson is really going to be in for a fight here. They're still holding on to that 4-point lead, but their offense has been stifled in the last couple possessions.
Becker and Mitchell Grothy back to receive the punt from Poling, and Arrowhead has almost gotten in there each of the last 2 punts. The sails over the returners' heads, and it's taken a great bounce, and it's going to pin Arrowhead all the way back at the 1-yard line. So that will go as a 59-yard punt with no return for Parker Poling.
That is exactly what the doctor ordered for this Hudson team that's been reeling here probably the last 5-6 minutes as the Warhawks have closed the gap. They're going to put them all the way back inside the 1, Don. Excellent punt coverage by the special teams of the Raiders.
They had 4 players that were around that football. That was not going to slip into the end zone. Heartland Arrowhead runs out. They're going to be starting in their own end zone as they start this drive out. Hastings will be one of the backs in the backfield. He'll be off the left hip of Henry Case. Behind Case, who's in the shotgun, will be Papandrea. Hastings moves to the right side. The handoff to Papandrea. He tries the right side, breaks it outside. Papandrea, the 10, a flag comes out. This one's going to come back. Papandrea taken down at the 14-yard line, but for naught, as there's a flag at the 5-yard line, it's going to be a hold, and it'll give Heartland Arrowhead the ball at about their 2.5-yard line from the spot of the foul.
I was going to say they're backed up with their back to the wall anyway, but it is going to come back on a hold. He is still going to get positive yardage out of it, correct?
Yes. Correct. They'll give him credit for the the positive gain before the penalty. So they'll mark it off, I believe, from the 5-yard line, and they'll put it back at around the 2.5. Oh, maybe they're saying it was more at the 3-yard line because they put him right back to the 1.
The spot of the foul. Yeah, we're basically back to where we started from, first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Heartland Arrowhead. Back at their own 1-yard line. Hastings and Papandrea in the backfield, next to and behind Case. The handoff goes to Papandrea. He tries the middle, and then it breaks open to the near side. Papandrea, though, getting stretched out, and he's going to be taken down at the 6-yard line. Another great tackle by Cole Goodbow.
Well, Cole Goodbow having an outstanding game, and Papandrea has got some very good moves. He's not a big, only about 5'7". There, kind of threw some juke moves out there, but Goodbow shut it down. Second down, Heartland.
Second down and 6 for Arrowhead. They trail 17-13, 4:10 to play in our opening half. Hudson with the lead the whole way thus far. Receivers split out wide to the right and the left. Ball hash marked to the left for Henry Case. Case takes, and he's going to pitch it. It's loose in the end zone, looking for Hastings. This is going to be points for Hudson, the safety. Hastings recovered it in the end zone, but Hudson covers them up, and it's 2 points for the Raiders, and they extend their lead to 6, 19-13, and they'll get the ball.
Well, and Hudson was inches away from recovering. That was a live ball in the end zone. Heartland was able to recover it, but obviously has to take the safety. So Hudson gets the 2 points. Heartland Arrowhead has to punt it away to Hudson, so Hudson will retain possession, but they were inches away. Boy, that would have been great if they could have been able to get on that and get 6, possibly 7 points out of that, but instead of 2. But I'm going to give all the credit in the world to the Hudson special teams for setting that up and pinning the Warhawks inside the 1 yard line. The defense rose to the occasion, and that is thumbs up for the defensive stand that time by Hudson.
And this is, to some extent, this could end up being better than a touchdown with 3:56 remaining. Hudson has 2 timeouts left. They'll have the 2-minute warning, and if they can eat this clock and get another 6, that would be tremendous going into the half, John.
That's an excellent point, Don. You know, with sitting on now a 6-point lead, 19-13. The clock stops with the movements of the chains in high school football. You don't have a 2-minute warning, but Hudson does have the 2 timeouts. You can work the sideline here. We have to see what kind of field position they get coming off this. Basically, what it is a punt. It's not a kickoff; it's a punt coming off a safety. We'll have to see here, but they have some time to work with. Just 3:56, just under 4 minutes to go.
And they will, they will tee it up back at the 20-yard line. So Norris will actually kick this one off from the 20. They have the option for the punt or for the kick. So they'll tee it up for Norris.
I thought it had to be a punt. Obviously, I've been wrong before once or twice in my life, and I've been wrong again. I thought you had to punt it.
19-13, the lead for Hudson as Norris approaches the ball. A good kick. It's going to be taken by Jager Marvin back at the 23-yard line, and Marvin all the way across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Will be 1st and 10 for Hudson there, and good starting field position for this drive.
Kat Morris set Burgess emailing in, says Andre's brother Alexander was on defense last year against Arrowhead. A lot of history there for the Marvins and Burgesses and the Morissettes. Absolutely, I remember Alex Burgess had a very good playing career for the Hudson Raiders, and I remember him well. So thank you, Kat, for emailing in. Keep those emails coming in. Love to hear from you. A lot of response. I know we got a lot of people on board watching the MSBN broadcast here of Hudson football on this beautiful Friday night.
Stubendick back under center. Going in motion was Burgess, and then he brings him back over to the wing on the right side. Marvin on the wing on the left side, fakes a handoff to Squires. The pitch to Burgess, and Burgess slips a tackle in the backfield, holding on for dear life is Hastings, and Hastings getting help. They're going to drop Burgess for a loss back inside the 40 to the 38-yard line, a loss of 3 on the play.
And Hudson was, quite frankly, pretty lucky that time. That was kind of a wild pitch there, potentially in the fumble area, and it's already happened once, but they recovered. Unfortunately, it took a 3-yard loss. Setting up was a 2nd and long.
3:15 to play in our first half. 19-13 Hudson lead. They just got a safety. They have the football at their own 38-yard line. They have 2 timeouts remaining. The handoff to Squires. Nope, Stubendick keeps it, and then he pitches to Burgess, and Burgess outside across the 45 keeps those legs churning and is going to finally be dropped at around the 47-yard line. A pickup of 9 will make it 3rd and 4 for Hudson.
So much fun to watch. I call him Little Andre Burgess. You know, 5'8", 160 pounds. Not a real big guy, but he's tough. You know, Heartland Arrowhead had to bring 3 guys in to bring him down. Very crucial 3rd and 3 here as we're under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Receiver split out each way for Stubendick. In motion is Marvin. Now he goes back over to his wing on the left side. Wing on the right side is Burgess. The fullback is Squires. Now Burgess in motion, fakes the handoff to Squires. Good job by Stubendick of keeping his footing as he got tripped up, but he's able to only pick up a yard up to the 49-yard line, and it'll bring up a 4th down and 2 for Hudson.
And without hesitation, Adam Cowles, as he traditionally does, going for it. At this stage of the game, at this juncture, where they're at on the field, it's a no-brainer.
2 minutes left to play in the second quarter. In motion was Marvin, and now he'll go back wing to the left as he cut right behind Stubendick. Stubendick looking like he's audibling, and now movement by Hudson. The left side of the line was on the wrong snap count, and it's going to push him back 5 yards and see if this changes the decision for head coach Cowles, and it does.
And it does, and those are the kind of mistakes you have to avoid when you're the underdog team on the road against an established perennial powerhouse opponent like Heartland Arrowhead. It changes the whole dynamic of this play. You go from a 4th and a short 2 to 4th and 7. We're now under 2 minutes to go. Clock continuing to tick, but Hudson really, his hand is forced. They have to punt it away.
All 3 timeouts remaining for Arrowhead, and Arrowhead's getting very close to being able to block those punts. It's going to be fair caught by Jack Becker back at the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Arrowhead at their own 23.
Going back into the MSBN email bag, Isaac Carranza emailing in, says, let's go defense. Thank you again for the emails. Keep them coming in. Very easy to do. Click on the Email Us link on your game tracker screen. You can let us know who you are, where you're listening from, who you're cheering for tonight. A lot of folks back home were unable for one reason or another to make the 4.5 hour trip down here to Heartland, a suburb of Milwaukee. A beautiful night so far, a beautiful facility here at Heartland Arrowhead High School. But glad you could join us online, MSBN's coverage of Hudson football.
Case hands it off to Papandrea. Papandrea breaks through up to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 7, and it'll be 2nd down and 3.
You got to wonder here if Arrowhead's going to roll the dice. They have the 3 timeouts to play with, but they're fairly deep in their own territory as we're now under minute 20 to go. Taking quite a bit of time here.
Spencer Schmidt with the tackle for Hudson. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right for Arrowhead in Case. He has 2 backs in the backfield, gives to Papandrea. Papandrea tries right up the middle, gets through the first tackle. Second effort will get him the 1st down before Cole Goodbow is able to bring him down, and it'll be a pickup of 4 and a 1st down for Heartland Arrowhead.
Really like the look of Spencer Papandrea, only 5'7", but he's 180 pounds, senior running back. Excellent first half.
Twin receivers each way. Case looking to pass and incomplete. It's knocked down on the coverage for Hudson was Noah Bennett with the pass defense, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. That's the first time Arrowhead has tried to pass in about 3 drives here, John.
Yeah, they've gone almost exclusively to a ground attack. Their passing attack has faltered, 1 of 7 through the air prior to that.
Papandrea finds a hole up to the 45-yard line, and then Schmidt is going to bring him down at the 46, but he picks up 11 on the play and another 1st down for Heartland Arrowhead, their 8th of the first half.
Well, the question has been answered. You're going to wonder if, Heartland Arrowhead were just going to take a knee or play it close to the vest and go into halftime here and regroup. They're going for it. They got the 3 timeouts to work with.
35 seconds left to play in the first half. Case looking to pass, throws to Papandrea on a screen coming out of the backfield to the left side, and Papandrea is going to be dropped up at the 48-yard line. Just a pickup of 2, but a good, safe pass play there for Arrowhead.
Just got a tweet coming in from Alex Burgess, watching from Bemidji. He goes to school up there with some teammates, and I know a lot of the former players and former Hudson students like to view our games, and they're getting ready to go off to college. It's getting that time of year, and I remember those days. For me, it's getting to be a long time ago, but that's always so much fun to get these emails in and from former players, former students that still like to follow the Hudson Raiders, still have that connection to their school and wherever they may be, and safe travels to all students probably leaving if they haven't left already next week, and to here, there, and everywhere. And it's an exciting time of your life. Enjoy it. And on Friday nights, if you got the time, tune into MSBN's Hudson football and stay connected with your alumni, with your Raiders.
Papandrea, 16 carries for 150 yards in the game. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Henry Case. 2 backs in the backfield. He's looking to pass. They stay in. They're going for the deep ball, and the connection, no! Off his fingertips. The receiver's fingertips at the 15-yard line. That was Mitchell Barris with the attempt at the catch. It falls incomplete, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 with 23 seconds to play for Heartland Arrowhead.
And it clearly disappointed Barris, 6 foot, 165-pound junior wide receiver. Hudson had decent coverage, double coverage, but that was a catchable ball, and he knows it.
2 receivers each way for Case. He's going to keep it. Case is going to be taken down at midfield after a gain of 2. On the tackle was Sidembeko.
The clock continuing to run. We're going to be under 10 seconds when they get this snap off. Hudson's defense, I think, is going to be able to hold here, and I think maybe the Warhawks are just going to let it run out.
Yeah, or they are going to wait for 1 second. Nope, they're going to let the clock run out on the first half. So after 1 half of play, it's 19-13 in favor of Hudson. Hudson puts up 17 points in the first quarter, takes a 17-0 lead into the second quarter, but then it was all Arrowhead early on in that second quarter, putting up 13 unanswered points before Hudson's defense could help them out and get a safety, and that puts us at 19-13 heading into the half, John.
Well, the Warhawks, I thought we were going to be able to put something together in the closing minutes and had those 3 timeouts, but the Hudson defense held. Kind of a tale of 2 quarters here. The first quarter all belonged to the Hudson Raiders, and I would say the second quarter, for the most part, belonged to the Warhawks, although the safety that Hudson had late in the second quarter certainly was very vital and opened that lead up. From a 4-point lead to 6. So that's something they can hang their hat on there. Both teams running the ball very well. We saw some good back and forth play. Both teams have had some turnovers. We've had a few key penalties here and there. A very exciting first half. 2 good teams, both ranked in the top 10 Division I, both undefeated coming in. And this beautiful Friday night, where would you rather be? High school football is back. Summer is winding down. And 2 good teams going at it, teams with a history. Met 3 times in the last 4 years, 2 of them state semifinal games. Heartland Arrowhead has won all 3. Hudson trying to return the favor and beat Heartland Arrowhead on their own home field and make that long drive back home tonight with an upset victory tucked in their back pocket.
So Hudson will have to kick off to Heartland Arrowhead to start off our second half of play. 19-13, Hudson leads in this one as they put up 17 points in that first quarter of play, took a 17-0 lead into the second quarter, but then Heartland Arrowhead scored 13 unanswered points before Hudson was able to stop the bleeding, stop the momentum that Heartland Arrowhead had with a safety on a bad pitch into the end zone, and that made it 19-13, which is our halftime score. Parker Poling on to kick off now for Hudson. He'll be kicking right to left here.
And Don, you know what? It's starting to feel like fall right now.
Only 70 degrees at kickoff here tonight. Jack Becker fields the ball back at the 3-yard line, brings it right up the middle, crossing the 20 up around the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Heartland Arrowhead. They'll mark it officially at their own 24-yard line.
Speaking of fall coming, the football season, high school started last week. The Badgers open next week with a very big game against LSU at Green Bay. And there's also this other pro football team in Wisconsin that not a lot of people know about called the Packers. They're playing preseason right now. They kick off in about half an hour, but we won't worry about them till the regular season starts. But I know a lot of people follow the preseason. I think Green Bay is going to have a fine season this year.
Henry Case will be working out of the pistol. 2 backs behind him, twin receivers to the right, 1 receiver off to the left for Case. Case takes it. He gives it to Papandrea. Papandrea slips through a hole up across the 35, and he'll finally be taken down at the 39-yard line. Papandrea picks up 10 to start out the second quarter or third quarter of play, and it looks like it'll be just enough for a first down.
Papandrea is hard to bring down. Only 5'8", low center of gravity, but he's listed at 180 pounds and really runs with his shoulders squared. You know, he got an extra 3 yards just by pumping his legs. Hudson was unable to wrap him up.
Jake Danielson credited with the tackle. Handoff again to Papandrea. He goes off a right tackle. A little spin move at the 40, and he'll get up to the 42-yard line, a pickup of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3 for Heartland Arrowhead.
Seeing a heavy dose of Papandreou as well. We should. He had how many yards in the first half, Don?
150 yards even.
Wow, what a half.
Sidimbeko with the tackle for Hudson, and it's a second down and closer to 4 here for Arrowhead. Same formation for the Warhawks. Case ready, takes the snap, looking to pass, throws to Becker in the flat on the left side. Becker has the sideline into Hudson territory, and he'll run out of bounds at the Hudson 37-yard line. That goes down as a pickup of 22 yards.
Well, we were wondering if we were going to see that Heartland Arrowhead passing attack, and there we did. Really their first successful completion of the night, and that's they got the Warhawks into Hudson territory, got a successful drive for their opening drive here in the second half.
So they have it now 1st and 10 at the Hudson 37-yard line. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Case. 2 backs in the backfield. Case takes, gives to Hastings. Hastings up the gut. Hastings, good job of keeping his footing, and he'll be taken down at the 33-yard line. A pickup of 4 for Hastings.
We invite our viewers tonight, keep those emails coming in. We've had about 20, 25 very nice emails. Love to hear from you. It's very easy to do. Click on the email us link on your game tracker screen. You can let us know who you are, where you're listening from, who you're cheering for tonight, thoughts on the broadcast, thoughts on the game. Love to hear from you.
Sidimbeko again with the tackle. Handoff to Papandreou right up the middle, untouched until the 20, and then a touchdown saving tackle as Papandreou falls forward to the 15-yard line. 18-yard pickup and another first down.
Well, he knew they were going to see a heavy dose of Papandreou. Last week against Homestead, he had 21 carries for 93 yards, about 4.5 yards per carry. He's even going to go probably double that tonight, and he's off to a heck of a start.
Yeah, I think he's 1 yard short of doubling that up right now, actually. So a 2nd down and 10, ball at the 17-yard line of Hudson. Good drive by Arrowhead. Papandreou goes through the hole between the guard and tackle on the left side. He'll be taken down at the 14-yard line. Maybe they'll call it even the 13. A pickup of 4 for Papandreou. 2nd down and 6, under 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. 6-point lead for Hudson.
This is where the Hudson defense is going to have to draw the line in the sand as the Warhawks have driven inside the red zone. The Raiders clinging to a tenuous 6-point lead here with 9:42 to go in the third quarter.
Noah Bennett with the tackle for Hudson. Receivers each way for Case again. Case takes, gives to Papandreou. Papandreou, nice little spin move will help him get back to the 10-yard line. A pickup of 3 for Papandreou before he's taken down. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 3, and again on the tackle, Dominic Sidimbeko.
Well, you got to wonder if you're going to be in 4th down territory, if Hudson's able to stop him here. Do they go for it on 4th? They're definitely within field goal range, down by 6. It'll be a decision time. We'll have to see what happens here.
3rd and 7, Case in the shotgun, gives the handoff to Papandreou, and Papandreou is able to slice his way through the line, very close to a first down. I think he got just enough to be able to move the chains. We'll have to see here. Maybe just a little bit short. Going to bring up 4th and inches here, John.
Well, that's just exactly the scenario. It looks like they're going to go for it. They're well within field goal range, but, you know, it's under a yard to go.
Crowd cheering
They're cheering them on, yep.
Big decision for head coach Fritz Rauch. 8:25 to play in the third quarter. Big drive here, opening drive of the second half for Arrowhead. 4th and inches. They're going for it at the Hudson 8-yard line. Handoff to Papandreou. Easy first down, but a flag comes in late, and this one's coming back.
This could be huge for Hudson.
Drew Schrader may have held, and that's the indication.
Well, just as Hudson had some crucial penalties at crucial times in the first half, the Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks, after converting a 4th and less than a yard that would have given him a first down inside the 5-yard line, it's called back on a hold. It looks like Hudson's going to escape as the Warhawks are lining up for a field goal attempt.
So mark it from the spot of the hold. They had the flag down at about the 8-yard line, so should push it back to the 18. Going to make this about a 35-yard field goal attempt here for Norris.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to watch for the fake right here. Watch for the fake.
Norris will set it down. They'll set it down right at the 25-yard line, and now we have timeout as one of the officials needs to get into the position underneath the right upright, or left upright for Norris as we look on. Angled off to the right. The holder is the quarterback, Henry Case.
Nope.
Hold is down, snap is there, kick is away, and it is good. So a 35-yard field goal. Remember that Helterbrand had a 35-yarder in that first quarter. It pulls Arrowhead to within 3, 19-16.
And again, on your screen, the Hudson Raiders are. The scoreboard shows Hudson up 19-16. The logos are switched. That was my mistake when I inputted the teams. That those logos can't be switched. I do apologize for that. But Hudson showing a 19-16 lead. We just have the logo switched around here. But a big break for the Hudson defense on that fourth down hold. Those are the intangibles. Penalties, turnovers, special teams play. The Hudson Raiders escape out of there. But the Warhawks close the gap. Now still down by 3.
Well, a field goal game, and how big is that extra point miss right now by Heartland Arrowhead as well on their first touchdown, the 53-yard run by Pop Andrea.
Going back into the MSBN email bank, Cindy and Garrett Grimstead emailing in. They're watching from Minnesota. They say, go Jake and Cole, cheering for Hudson. That from Cindy and Garrett Grimstead. Paul Mayer emailing in. He's watching from Odessa, Texas, the city of the TV show Friday Night Lights. Wish I was there. Go Hudson. That one coming in from Paul Mayer, watching from Texas tonight.
Nor's kick is going to drive Marvin back to the 1-yard line, middle of the field, brings it up 15, 20, and dives forward up around the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Hudson at their own 23-yard line.
Well, it's the key there to get that running attack going. You've got to wonder if they're going to maybe try to go to the air a little bit more to mix things up. I think the key, I said this in halftime and I'm going to say it again, the key is to be able to get Aaron Squires, in between the tackles, the big fullback, consistently get him 4 and 5 yards of crack behind that big Hudson offensive line. That's going to free up the pitch plays and the jet sweeps and the options.
Newell out to the left side. In motion is Marvin in the backfield. An option play. Case pitches it, but Marvin had slipped and hit the deck, and it's going to go out of bounds at the original line of scrimmage, so no gain, and what'll go down as a fumble.
Well, there's been some very good defensive adjustments by the Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks because those pitch plays in the first quarter for Hudson were just gold. They were getting 15, 20 yards of crack on the pitch plays to Marvin and Burgess, and they've kind of angled their linebackers, and they're defending it much better here in the second half.
2nd down and 10. Once again, the option, and he's able to throw it off to Jager Marvin. Marvin down the sideline. That may have actually been almost a forward flip, and it looks like Stubendick is a little slow. No, that's Squires, a little slow getting up back at the 25-yard line. And they're going to give him a pickup of 9. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 1.
See, I thought he got the first down. I thought he was able to on second effort, but he clearly didn't. What do you do on 3rd and 1? Do you play smash mouth and just try to get the 1? Do you play action? We'll have to see. They're going out of a shotgun.
Helmer's the tight end on the left side.
No, they're not.
Over to the right side is Newell. That was just, Stubendick was getting the play from the sideline. The handoff goes to Squires, the first down and more across the 35, and backs his way up to the 39-yard line, 38. They'll call it a pickup of 6 for Squires, and a 1st down for Hudson, their first down of the second half.
And to me, that's just fundamental smash mouth between the tackle football. This is what we're going to do. You try to stop us, 3rd and short, no trickery. They did it. Squires had an excellent run.
1st and 10 for Hudson at their own 38-yard line as they're trying to answer the scoring drive by Arrowhead. And the fake by Stubendick with the pitch out to Marvin. And Marvin, with some running room along the far sideline, is able to pick up another 1st down into Arrowhead territory. It's going to be a pickup of 15 on the play.
Excellent run by Jager Marvin. He's so much fun to watch, he and Burgess. And that pitch play is starting to work again. And I think that's set up when Squires is having success in the middle.
And it's interesting. Stubendick is getting really close to the line of scrimmage on those. Squires, the handoff, he goes straight ahead to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. And
you got to wonder when they're going to play action off that play. And another just tough run. Those are tough yards in the middle against this big Arrowhead defense. But that's what sets up the pitch plays.
Receiver split out to the right. Marvin, the wing on the left side, the handoff to Squires, off left tackle, low running room. A flag comes in though. Squires taken down inside the 35-yard line at the 34. Initially a pickup of 11, but the indication is a hold on the flag at the 42-yard line, and that is the case. That'll push Hudson back. It'll be a pickup of about 2 or 3 before they mark off the 10-yard penalty here.
And just as the hold really hurt Arrowhead, deep in Hudson territory on their previous possession, that negated a very good run for Squires. And, the holds are tough. But it was the correct call, and Hudson gets backed up.
So they move it back into Hudson territory at the Raiders' 48-yard line. They need to get to the Heartland Arrowhead 42 for a first down.
Quick scoring update from Menominee at Williams Stadium. The Menominee Mustangs starting to pull away, 28-6 over Somerset.
2nd and 15, handoff to Squires, and nowhere to go for Squires. He'll get a yard to the 49-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd down and 14 for the Hudson Raiders.
Do the Raiders go to the air here? Do they go with Stubenbeck? He can throw also, but do you bring in Kaiser Helterbrand? And I think they are.
Yep, that's just what they did.
Yep.
Good call there, John.
That's the two-headed monster. Very different types of quarterbacks with different skill sets. I can just about guarantee you they're going to go to the air here with a 4-receiver set.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. In motion was Burgess. Rolling out to the left is Helterbrand. Helterbrand in trouble, cutting back to the right. Stepping up in the pocket, throwing, and there's no flag on that one. Surprised by that. A lot of contact in the defensive backfield as Ben Carls got free. On the coverage was Caleb Beaversdorf for Arrowhead, but it'll bring up a 4th down, and it's going to be a punt situation for Hudson.
Lots of contact there as Kaiser Helterbrand, the pocket broke down, did a nice job of scrambling, getting free. He's a bigger kid. He's got a good arm and good field vision. I felt that could have been defensive interference.
Arrowhead, they're getting close to those punts. Good punt. Takes a Hudson bounce at the 21-yard line, and see where they officially mark it out of bounds. They're going to mark it at the 12, so a 39-yard punt for Parker Poling. Last season, he had 6 punts, averaging just over 36 yards a punt. He's well over that in this game.
Well, punting is such an overlooked part of the game of football, particularly in the high school level. If you have a punter averaging less than 20 yards a punt, or if you have a punter that averages closer to 40, you look over the course of a season. I mean, that's collectively hundreds of yards of field position. It's a very important part of the game, and some very nice punting.
So Hudson's defense here has to hold up. The momentum is starting to swing Arrowhead's way. They got a field goal on their last drive. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Fakes a handoff to Papandrea, throwing deep, looking for Tetzloff, and Tetzloff with a nice catch at midfield. They will mark him inside Hudson territory at the 47-yard line, a pickup on the play of 41 yards.
Well, Don, we were wondering if Heartland Arrowhead was going to go back to that passing attack. They have, and they've had a lot more success here in the second half than they did in the first. And, Hudson defensively is going to have to adjust and shut that down.
Same formation here for the Warhawks. The handoff this time to Papandrea. He slips the tackle and is able to get inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6 for Heartland Arrowhead. They trail by 3 with 5:10 to play in the 3rd quarter.
The Hudson defense is getting some early hits on Papandreas just right by the line of scrimmage, but he's able to bounce off them and consistently get, an extra 3 yards as he continues to put up an outstanding statistical night.
Yeah, it looked like Polig had a chance at him. Hudson playing a safety way back deep here. Henry Case in the pistol. Case takes it, throws it out to Becker on a screen. Becker with some room outside the numbers. Becker a first down to the 30-yard line as he picks up 13 yards. And another first down for Heartland Arrowhead. 3 straight completions now for Case.
And the Warhawks getting into that positive offensive groove. The passing game is starting to click. The running game is doing its thing. Hudson's defense, again, is going to have to draw the line in the sand. They were able to hold them to a field goal last time, aided by a holding penalty. They're going to have to do it again.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left for Case. 2 backs in the backfield. Fakes the handoff to Papandrea. Being chased, rolling to the right, and throwing over his intended receiver, Mitchell Barris.
Nice rush that time between a host of Raiders, including Levi Goodman coming in from his linebacker position, forcing him out of the pocket and misfiring.
2nd down and 10 for Heartland Arrowhead. The ball at the 30-yard line of Hudson. Hudson leads 19-16 in this battle of top 10 teams in Division I in the WIAA. 4:25 to play in our 3rd quarter. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left again for Case. 2 backs in the backfield. Case takes. Quick screen pass out to Tetzloff. Tetzloff with the catch. Tetzloff with some room. 10, 5, and Tetzloff, did he keep his footing? No, he didn't. They're going to rule him out of bounds at the 2-yard line, but a pickup of 28 and another passing first down here for Heartland Arrowhead.
Just a quick hitter, be able to get the ball out in the flat there, and just a lot of green space open in front of him. Hudson's defense was unable to shift quickly to that side of the field here, and the Warhawks are knocking on the door again.
And that's what we said. The first half, Case couldn't get it going. He was 2 for 10.
Now.
He's 4 for 5 here in the 3rd quarter. Over 100 yards passing in this 3rd quarter for Case. Jack Becker goes off to the left side. Tetzloff on the right. They're split out wide. And now we have a whistle and a timeout taken by Hudson as they want to get the defense set here. It's a 1st and goal for Arrowhead at the Hudson 2-yard line. Hudson with a narrow 3-point lead.
Well, this Heartland Arrowhead has come out in the second half very fired up. You know, they really, the 2nd quarter belonged to them after the 1st quarter was all Hudson opening up that 17-point lead. Hudson going into the halftime with the 17-13 lead, and a 19-13 now that's been closed to 19-16. We want to go back into the MSBN email bag. Dick and Karen Jackson emailing in, so thanks for the broadcast. Go Hudson. There's the heart rate of the average Hudson Raider fan watching back home has just increased now as the Warhawks are coming in and getting their offense going. It's nervous time. A lot of football yet to be played. 4:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is roughly where we had the lightning strike last week. Hopefully it holds off. I'm predicting rain, but that's hopefully not for several hours. A beautiful evening, comfortable temperatures, and as the Hudson Raider defense tries to keep the Warhawks out of the end zone.
Yeah, they've taken rain out of the forecast till early tomorrow morning now, I believe, so you're going to be driving back through that probably.
Wonderful.
So a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. The handoff goes to Papandrea. He breaks it out off left tackle into the end zone from 2 yards out for his 3rd TD run of the game. And Arrowhead has their first lead of the game. 22-19 over Hudson with 4:10 to play in the 3rd quarter.
And you got to wonder if the Warhawks are going to go for 2 points here. Not lining up like they are, so they're maintaining a 3-point lead. Of course, a successful extra point would put them up by 4, which would be two possessions. It'd be key to Hudson if they could block this extra point.
Norris has already missed one, shanked it to the left, but that one he puts a good solid boot into, and it goes through the uprights. So Arrowhead takes their first lead of the game now, 23-19 over Hudson, with 4:10 to play in the 3rd quarter. And coming out of the half, this has been, Hudson moved the ball fairly well on their drive, John, but Arrowhead has been able to capitalize with 10 points off their 2 drives.
Well, I think this is gut check time right now for the Hudson Raiders. You know, they got out to that big 17-0 lead, and we said, you know, it's great, they're playing well, but there's a lot of football to go, don't get complacent, and I don't think they did. I just think Heartland Arrowhead kind of just caught fire when they had that, I go back to that third and short run that got their first points on the board. But this is where we say, okay, we need to maintain our composure. You know, we can do this. We're down by 4, 4:10 to go, 3rd quarter. We know we can move the football. We did it earlier in the game. We can't panic. We can't fall apart. We can't press. We're on the road. You know, we're the underdog. We can do it. This is gut check time. This is going to tell us a lot of the character of this football team for the Raiders.
Nor's kick is a squib kick. It's going to be fielded by Burgess at the 15-yard line. Burgess across the 25 and up to the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Hudson. They'll start with it at their own 30-yard line and see if the Raiders can get something going and answer back. This is a huge drive, and Burgess kind of walking off the field a little weird. I think it might just be a cleat issue with him, though.
I hope it is, because he, again, both Marvin and Burgess aren't very big guys. Jagger Marvin's listed at 5'10", 150, and Andre Burgess is 5'8", 160. So they're not really big guys, and he took a couple hard hits on that kickoff return. We'll have to see. Offensively, Hudson's just got to get it going. I think it's key that Squires, they open up the lanes for him and consistently get those 4 or 5 yards of crack between the tackles.
And Burgess is off talking to a trainer and replacing him as Riley Brown now on the wing on the right side. Under center is Stubendick, and Stubendick is going to be swallowed up in the backfield as that Heartland defensive attack just got back there too quickly. A loss of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 13.
And for the first time tonight, Hudson finds themselves with a deficit, and this Arrowhead defense has come alive as well.
Ball back at the 27-yard line now of Hudson. 3.5 minutes to play in our third quarter. The pitch going to the right to Marvin. Marvin trying to get that outside edge. A flag comes in late as Marvin gets across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Initially a pickup of 4. Flag thrown in the area of a hold.
Hold again. Boy,
that is it.
And both teams have been burned time and again by holds tonight. And that's going to back Hudson up. We're going to have 2nd and a long ways now.
And that hold was 4 or 5 yards downfield too, John, where they threw that. So they'll mark it from, I believe, the 31 and move them back to the 21-yard line as the officials talk about the spot of the ball, since the flag was actually thrown ahead of where Marvin actually was taken down.
So you're going to march it back. We'll have to see where this ends up. It's going to put them all the way back to the 21.
So 4-yard credit to Marvin on the run, but move him back 10 yards, and it's 2nd down and 19 now as they replay the down for Hudson. The handoff goes to Squires, and Squires tries the heart of that line, and Arrowhead is just rejuvenated. He picks up maybe a yard. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 18 with 3:10 to play in the third quarter.
And I wonder if they're going to go bring in Kaiser Helterbrand again. That's what they did last time. There he comes in. They're kind of designated passer, if you will, the sophomore.
Actually, they're going to stick with
they are sticking with
Stubendick. They just brought in the backfield. They have Jaden Carranza in there now behind Stubendick. One receiver to the right, one receiver to the left. Stubendick looking to pass, throwing off his back foot deep down the field.
Got it.
And getting free was Thomas Newell at the Arrowhead 45-yard line. They'll mark him at the 44. It goes down as a 34-yard completion.
Biggest play for the Hudson Raiders offensively here in this second half. They were looking at having to punt it deep in their own territory and potentially giving Harlan Arrowhead good field position. Biggest play of the second half for Hudson by far.
Newell off on the right side of the formation. Looks like they have Andres Burgess back in there. Fakes the handoff to Squires. The option throws it forward to Marvin, and Marvin is going to pick up 11 yards on what I think was actually a forward pass that time.
Well, and they've ran that play, at least half a dozen times tonight, and you're absolutely right, Don. I don't know if you'd count that as a pass or not. Technically, it's a pitch, I guess.
So another 1st down for Hudson. They now have a 1st and 10 at the 34 of Arrowhead as they're trying to answer 10 unanswered points by Arrowhead.
And you're starting to see the energy build a little bit here for Hudson coming off that big 3rd down conversion.
Receiver off to the left side. The handoff goes to Squires. Squires breaks a tackle at the 30, keeps those legs churning, and is taken down at the 25-yard line. A pickup of 8 by Squires. 2nd down and 2 for Hudson at the 25-yard line of Arrowhead.
And that's what I was talking about. If you can consistently get runs like that out of Squires between the meat of the line of the Arrowhead defensive line, it's going to do well.
Stubendick gives it to Squires, and Squires pounds ahead for the 1st down, picks up 4, and moves the chains for Hudson.
And when they start stacking the linebackers in the box to try to shut down the success of Squires, that's where you go to the pitch, or you do a play action or a quarterback option keeper around the end.
1st and 10 Hudson at the Arrowhead 22-yard line. Looking to pass. Stubendick, his pass is tipped, and it still is nearly caught by Jager Marvin at the 10-yard line. Not where he was going.
No.
He was going for Newell, going down those near hash marks, but his arm got hit, and it ended up falling incomplete, thankfully, for Hudson.
You know, Stubendick not very big, only about 5'9". He's about 4 inches shorter than Kaiser Helterbrand, and the bigger defender knocked it down.
2nd and 10, fakes the handoff to Squires, is going to keep it and dives inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. A pickup of 3 and a late flag. This could give Hudson a first down if this is a hit to the head or a late hit.
Late hit, or did you catch that, Don? I don't know if it's a late hit or.
I didn't catch the initial indication.
I didn't either. Was it a defensive holding or was it face mask?
No, we're still waiting, I think, for the referee to give the official sign. That was just the line judge.
It is on Arrowhead, I know that.
It's a personal
foul. 15.
So
huge
a big
break.
One.
Huge break. Hudson has to capitalize here. This is their opportunity right now.
So a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line of Arrowhead for Hudson. Here's their chance to take back the lead. They had the lead most of the game. Stubendick gives it off to Cole Danielson, and Danielson nowhere to go, no gain. It's 2nd down and goal from the 10.
And the Warhawk defense had that play read like a book. They knew exactly what that was going to go, that kind of counter play. That went nowhere.
Danielson 1 carry last week for 20 yards in the game. Wing on the right side is Burgess. Wing on the left side is Jager Marvin. Faking the handoff
there
is
goes.
Stubendick, and Stubendick at the goal line spun around, and he's going to be taken down at the 1-yard line, a pickup of 9. And here we go, John, 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line of Arrowhead. Hudson trailing by 4.
Gutsy run by Max Stubendick. He's got some good moves, and here it is, probably 4-down territory here. Let's see if the Raiders can punch it in.
Stubendick gives the Squires over the top. Touchdown Raiders. And Hudson retakes the lead 25-23 with 40 seconds to play on the 1-yard dive by Aaron Squires.
And if that wasn't a gutsy offensive possession by the Hudson Raiders, I don't know what is. A crucial 3rd down conversion, excellent running, opportunistic. They took advantage of some Arrowhead mistakes, and they have answered and gone back ahead. That was the gutsiest offensive possession, one of them that I've seen in 6 years of calling high school football for Hudson.
Helterbrand's extra point attempt right down the middle, and it's a 3-point Hudson lead, 26-23 over Arrowhead with 40 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter, and that is just what Hudson needed, what they had to dial up. They had to stop momentum being in Arrowhead's favor so far this entire 3rd quarter. And
it's that huge 3rd down conversion on the pass. You know, that started it all, because you just saw the energy. It's like somebody lit a match under a bunch of dry wood for the Hudson Raiders. You're reading the body language over there on the sideline. You know, they'd fallen down. They converted that, and then they went into a whole nother gear from that point. The running game was there. Excellent blocking by the offense. Max Stubendick did an outstanding job on a couple runs, a couple pitches. Squires had some key runs. Job well done. That was great.
So 40 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter, and John Reed says, and the crowd got taken out of it as well.
Now the defense has to maintain the momentum, because the Warhawks, who've got their passing game going, both barrels are going to come right back at them with 40 seconds to go here in the 3rd.
Poling tees it up at the 40-yard line. One of the things Arrowhead had a big advantage over Homestead last week was in special teams. You want to make sure you don't let them get anything big here to get that momentum right back and wrestle it away from you.
Yeah, it's all about the field position game.
Poling approaches, and he does a little squib kick, and it goes off an Arrowhead returner's hands at the 30, picked up back at the 20-yard line. That's Hastings, and Hastings is up across the 35 to the 37-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Heartland Arrowhead at their own 37.
A very good starting field position, and that's so huge. I mean, the difference between starting at the 20 and starting at the 40, particularly now that the Warhawks really have their offense in gear, the passing game's going, and the running has been just outstanding, Papandrea in particular. But it is what it is. Hudson defense going to have to step it up.
Case pitches to Papandrea, going to the left side, getting outside the numbers. Hudson stretches him out, and he's not going to get much. Gets a few yards across the 40 to the 41-yard line. A pickup of 3 by Papandrea.
Excellent defensive shift. They did it with good speed to the right side and shut off the running lane over there. Papandrea has been able to break those time and again tonight. He was not able to break that one. Looks like this might be the last play of the half. I don't know if they're not going to get the play off, I don't think.
Papandrea just went over 200 yards on the game, 202 yards rushing, as that brings us to the end of the third quarter. And it's a 26-23 Hudson lead as we enter the final 12 minutes here, John.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is anyone's ball game. Heartland Arrowhead did pull ahead after Hudson had maintained the lead right from the get-go, and Hudson answered with an excellent offensive drive, converting a big third down conversion on a pass play. They're holding a very tenuous 3-point lead here. It's anybody's ball game. 3 quarters are in the books. 1 more quarter to go. This is exciting stuff. 2 top 10 Division I teams playing a non-conference tilt here at beautiful Heartland Arrowhead High School in Heartland, Wisconsin, down here in Milwaukee. About a 4.5 hour drive from Hudson. Glad to have you aboard. We got a lot of people on board tonight. Keep those emails coming in. This one's going to go right down to the wire, I think. Mark says he just tuned in after a day at the Minnesota State Fair. Good job, Raiders. Let's go get it. Mark enjoying the broadcast and probably back home. John Gallardi said, love seeing the boys taking it to Arrowhead, or excuse me, Joe Gallardi. And I remember him from years past, the Gallardi twins. Of course, their grandfather, the legendary John Gallardi from St. John's University.
Arrowhead comes out to start the fourth quarter. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 2 backs in the backfield behind Case. Case takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Papandrea. Look at the pass, hit from behind. Ball is loose, and it looks like Arrowhead was able to jump on it back at the 38-yard line. But forcing the fumble was Cole Goodbow, and he has had a game here this evening.
Goodbow had a tremendous hit, but opportunity missed, and Noah Bennett, reading his body language, knows it, banging the floor. Bennett was right there. The fumble was right there, but he was unable. He was about a second too late to get that fumble. That would have been absolutely huge after a big-time hit.
Jared St. Arnold was the one that recovered for Arrowhead. Little screen pass to Hastings. Hastings with some room. The 45, first down, cutting across the field. Hastings burning away. The 30, the 20, slips a tackle, the 10, and into the end zone from 62 yards out.
Wow.
On the screen pass, and Arrowhead rips the lead back from Hudson, 29-26.
And again, the margin for error. I go back to the previous play. Hudson forcing a turnover. Heartland Arrowhead getting on the fumble, a second earlier than Hudson did. On the next play, they strike Pater. That's how games are won and lost. That margin for error so very thin, and Arrowhead strikes.
62 yards. Case to Hastings. And now trying to make it a 4-point lead, and they do with the extra point by Norrs. Arrowhead leads 30-26 with 11:09 to play in the game. And now let's see, heavyweight battle. Can Hudson answer back with a little combo of their own here, John?
Well, it's punch and counter punch between these two good football teams, playing out the drama, playing out here at Heartland Arrowhead High School, Pfeiffer Stadium, Taraska Stadium. Back and forth they go. Hudson maintained the lead. Heartland Arrowhead finally pulled ahead in the third. An excellent offensive drive by Hudson pulled them back ahead, and then a big-time screenplay struck for Paydirt, coming off of a fumble on the previous play that Heartland Arrowhead just barely got back. And Hudson's just going to have to do it again. They're going to have to do it again. They did some good things offensively in that last possession, and you're going to have to do it again.
30-26, the lead for Arrowhead. 11:09 to play in the game. Hudson led after 1 quarter of play. They led at the half. Arrowhead came out and took charge of the game in the third quarter. Hudson able to answer back late in that third quarter, but Arrowhead, they hit a big one again. Norrs, his kick is picked up. A defensive move by Bryce Marion back around the 27-yard line, and Marion up to the 34-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Hudson at their own 34.
Lots of time left here, 11:03 to go. Hudson did burn one timeout earlier in the half. They got 2 remaining. This would be a great time for a nice, 8-minute drive, striking pay dirt here and pulling out the lead and not leaving Arrowhead a lot of time left. 11:03 to go in the final frame.
Longest drive of the game for Hudson has been the last scoring drive of that third quarter, where they went about 3.5 minutes. Stubendick on the option, rolling out to his left, in trouble, and he cannot spin out of the tackle of Noah Harvey back at the 31-yard line, a loss of 3.
Excellent defensive interior penetration that time by Heartland Arrowhead, and Hudson's had some very good success on their previous drive with that kind of pitch play, but Heartland Arrowhead was back there, busted it all up that time, 3-yard loss.
Newell wide out to the left for Stubendick. Wings on each side, in motion Burgess. The handoff, no, Stubendick was going to keep it himself and gets nothing. Oh, they may not have even gotten the snap cleanly there, John.
Yeah, that's, they're misfiring. I think Hudson's rattled right now, and here we find ourselves again in a 3rd and long situation, 3rd and 13 to be exact, fairly deep in their own territory. They're backed up to the 30. They're going to have to strike on this one.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Stubendick in there at quarterback still. Snap goes over his head back at the 20, picks it up at the 15. Rolls to his right, under pressure, steps up, throws it off to Squires. Squires down the far sideline, 45-50. Squires cuts inside a bit at the Arrowhead 45 and down to the 40-yard line. A pickup of 29 yards on the broken play, and Hudson with a first down.
And that is Hart again, converting 3rd and long again to sustain a drive on a bad snap, and that is Hart. And man, oh man, is this an exciting ball game.
What a job by Stubendick to keep himself free and keep his eyes downfield. Hands it off to Squires, the man who bailed him out, and Squires down to the 35-yard line. They'll give him credit to the 34, a pickup of 6, and it'll be 2nd down and 4.
I think if you're Hudson, you have to stop for a second and take a deep breath, but they're quick to the line ahead here. They feel the momentum. They're feeling it.
Hand off to Squires. He has 62 yards in the game. He picks up 4 more there, and now up to 66 yards, and it's good enough for a first down. Hudson moves the chains again.
And again, when the chains move, and this will be more and more of an issue as we get into the closing minutes of this 4th quarter, it's still anybody's game. That does temporarily stop the clock, and as an offense, you can utilize that.
9:10 to play in our game, 4-point lead for Arrowhead. Stubendick looking to pass. Middle of the field, going for Newell, and a jump ball. Newell can't come down with it at the goal line. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Good coverage by Heartland Arrowhead. On that coverage for the Warhawks was number 23, Michael Grothy.
Hudson rolling the dice and going for broke that time on first down. I like the play call. Almost pulled it off, but excellent coverage by Arrowhead, like you said, Don.
Newell off to the right side. The handoff goes to Squires. No, it's off to Burgess, and Burgess is able to bust through the hole. Double handoff there, I believe, down to the 18-yard line for Burgess, a pickup of 12.
And Burgess again. Burgess, Marvin, and Squires getting it done tonight. The 3-headed monster with Stubenbeck for the most part running the show, although we've seen Helterbrand too. Hudson's got a good drive going here inside the red zone.
Squires takes a handoff, and he plows ahead for a couple of yards to the 15-yard line. A gain of 2 for Squires. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 for Hudson.
And again, Hudson really down by 2 possessions. A field goal isn't going to do him a heck of a lot of good here. They really need to put it in the end zone, although a successful field goal attempt would bring them to within 1, but they're thinking 6 here. They have to.
Hudson with more first downs in the second half than they had in the first half now. Fakes a handoff to Squires. Stubendick looking for some room. Cuts it up the 10, the 5, and taken down inside the 5-yard line at the 3. A pickup of 12, and it's going to be 1st and goal for Hudson at their Arrowhead 3-yard line.
Such a gutsy performance tonight by junior quarterback Max Stubendick. He is getting it done. And inside the 10-yard line, 1st and goal, Raiders.
1st and goal at the 3. Handoff to Squires, lowers his shoulders. He's going to come up just short as he's sniffing for his third touchdown run of the game. They'll have to try and feed it to him again here for him to get it, a 2-yard gain.
And I think if you're Hudson, you just play it close to the vest and power football between the tackles. You don't got to get a lot here on the 1-yard line.
2nd and goal from the 1. Squires again.
How can he not be in? There he is.
And he's in. Touchdown Raiders. Squires in for his 3rd TD of the game. And there it is. Hudson wrestles the lead back from Arrowhead 32-30 with 7:51 to play in the game.
Just like they did on their previous offensive possession, the Hudson offense showing some heart, overcoming adversity, converting on 3rd and long through the air yet again as the bleacher creatures across the way with the Hudson flag, the American flag. A great scene here at Heartland Arrowhead as the Raiders have pulled back ahead in this back and forth classic battle.
Big extra point from Helterbrand. Snap is there, hold is down, kick is up, and it's a no-doubter. And that gives Hudson the field goal lead here, John, 33-30 over Arrowhead with 7:51 to play in our game.
I'll tell you what, on a level of excitement on this one, between 1 and 10, this one's sitting right now about a 12. These two teams with such a history the last 4 years, 2 times meeting in the state semifinals. Both times Heartland Arrowhead comes out on top, advances into the state championship game where they go to win consecutive state championships in 2012, 2013. They did not meet in 2014. Last year, 2015, Hudson very unexpectedly at home takes a big lead. In halfway through the 3rd quarter, only to see it disintegrate, and Heartland Arrowhead come out of there with a hard-fought win. And here is Hudson's opportunity. 7:51 to go. They have answered the Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks twice, coming back 33-30, holding that tenuous lead. 7:51 to go. Buckle up for your a fantastic finish. We got a big audience online tonight. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us. We also want to say a quick hello to Terry Gisley. He's tuning in from New Mexico tonight. He's cheering on the hometown Raiders while on a safari trip down there. So keep those emails coming in and enjoy the last minutes of this one.
Pauling with another squib kick. It's going to be picked up at the 22-yard line and brought up to the 32-yard line. Believe the returner on that was Carter Bell. It'll be 1st and 10 for Heartland Arrowhead at their own. They mark it at the 33.
We're going to see if we can get some other scores coming in from Big Rivers Conference, non-conference games. Menominee pulling away from Somerset, like we said. And the other Big Rivers Conference teams in non-conference action tonight: Chippewa Falls, Eau Claire Memorial, Eau Claire North, Superior, River Falls. See if we can get those scores coming in as well.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left for Case. Case had a horrible first half, has made up for it here in the second half. Papandrea right up the gut, and he'll get up to the 40-yard line. A gain of 8 on 1st down, and it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 2 for Heartland Arrowhead.
Big-time Hudson Raiders supporter Paul Malik. Of course, you probably remember his 2 boys. Wade and Tucker had very good careers here for Hudson. He says, amazing what you can do when you believe in yourself, and I would agree with Paul on that one. Hudson going toe-to-toe, punch for punch with the powerhouse Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks at Heartland.
Becker lined up to the left, Tetzlaff over to the right with Driscoll. Case takes the snap, he's looking to pass, he's looking Becker's way the whole way down the near sideline. Becker with the step, but Case overthrows him by a yard or 2. Alex Colander on the coverage for Hudson. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2.
And Jack Becker did have a step. Good-looking wide receiver, 6'1", 185-pound senior. And the pass was just a little bit overthrown. The Warhawks passing attack has come alive here in the second half after it really sputtered in the first, but they're showing some excellent talent here in the second half and really got it going.
Becker over on the left side again. He's joined by Driscoll. 1 receiver to the right side for Case. He gives to Papandrea. Papandrea with the 1st down as he's able to pick his way through that line and all the bodies on the turf. And he'll get up to the 47-yard line as he picks up 7 on 3rd and 3 and moves the chains for Arrowhead. They trail by 3 with under 7 minutes to play.
Papandrea is just such an incredible back. How many yards is he unofficially up to? About 220?
Yeah, somewhere around that range right now.
What an outstanding night. And Hudson's getting some some hits on him coming right off the line of scrimmage, but he's just powering his way, getting that extra yardage time and again.
You're really good. 218 for Papandrea. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Fakes the handoff to Papandrea. Case rolling out to his right, looking downfield. He's going to keep it, and he's going to be taken down for no gain. The tackle made for Hudson by Parker Polig, and it might be just enough for a sack for Polig, as it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
As the quarterback was flushed, as Case was flushed out to the right-hand side, Polig had to make a decision. Does he lapse back in coverage, or does he roll the dice and pursue the quarterback trying to bring him down? He chose the latter and had success with it. Excellent play.
No gain, forward progress as he reached that ball out, got him back to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left for Case. He has Hastings and Papandrea in the backfield. Moves Hastings from his right to his left, gives to Papandrea. Papandrea into that line, but there's Goodbow, and Goodbow stops him after a gain of 3 yards on the play. 2nd down and 7.
The clock continuing to run here. It's going to become more and more of an issue. We're now under 6 minutes to go, 5:40 and counting. As Harlan Arrowhead does have their full complement, all 3 timeouts. The Hudson Raiders do have 2.
Not sure on the leg of Norris. He did hit that 35-yarder with quite a bit of room to spare going the other way. Quick pass, a screen out to Becker at midfield, and Becker will be whipped down by Spencer Schmidt after a pickup of 2 to the 48-yard line. And maybe a gain of 1 only to the 49-yard line of Hudson, and out comes the punting unit for Arrowhead.
And I would watch the fake here. Watch the fake. We're going to be under 5 minutes to go. It's 4th and 6. Watch the fake.
Nobody back for Hudson, so they are playing a safety defense here for the return. And they do punt it. And it goes out of bounds. Where do they mark this one? At the 33-yard line, so just a 16-yard punt. It'll be 1st and 10 for Hudson at their own 33 with just 4:45 left to play in this one. They lead the number 2 team in Division I by 3 points.
And Don, Hudson wasn't buying that for a minute. They didn't even put anybody back. To me, that had fake written all over it. They were going with a 4-receiver set. It was kind of a herky-jerky thing. You know, and they didn't gain a lot out of that. What was the punt? 16 yards, something like that?
16, yep.
Now here is where the Hudson Raiders have to seal the deal. The Warhawks with their full complement of timeouts, so they're going to be able to stop the clock. But if Hudson's got to convert some first downs, sitting on the lead, this is where the power running game has to get it done.
Tommy Berg off to the left side, Newell off to the right side. Stubendick tries to keep it himself, then at the last second pitches it off to Jagger Marvin, and Marvin along the near sideline able to get 3 yards out of the deal. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Boy, there's some heavy hitting out there, and a key is to keep it on the field. If you want to continue to milk clock, when you go out of bounds, that stops the clock. To me, when you're sitting on a lead, playing power football, you got to keep it in bounds and keep that clock running. Force the Warhawks to use those timeouts.
Fakes the handoff to Squires. No, actually did give to Squires. Good fake there. Squires ahead for 2 yards up to the 39-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5.
Well, this is huge here because I don't think if you don't convert it here this deep in your own or this far back in your own territory sitting on a 3-point lead, I don't know if you go for it on 4th. Letting the clock run all the way down, I like that. Looks like they're going to get the playoff with about 4 minutes and change to go.
See if they wait for that back judge to start his countdown. Nope, they go ahead and snap it. Stubendick rolling out to his left. Options it to Burgess.
There he goes.
Burgess with the hole. Burgess the first down into Heartland Arrowhead territory. Taken down at the 45-yard line. A pickup of 17 on the play. And more importantly, Hudson a fresh set of downs.
Time and again, they're coming through on these crucial 3rd down situations, sustaining drives, continuing to milk the clock, continuing to get positive yardage against the number 2 ranked Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks, and the Hudson Raiders, we got a ways to go, are smelling victory.
103 yards now in the game for Burgess. Burgess goes in motion. The handoff is to Squires. He breaks one tackle and powers his way ahead to the 40-yard line, a 4-yard gain. 2nd down and 6 for Hudson. Under 3.5 minutes to play in the game. They lead Arrowhead by 3.
And you gotta wonder, as far as Heartland Arrowhead, Hudson milking the clock as well they should. Sooner or later, the Warhawks are going to be forced to have to burn those timeouts. They have all 3 timeouts. Hudson should be in no rush here. The clock is your friend. You know, if you're it's the enemy if you're the Warhawks.
Stubendick under center, takes it, gives it to Squires. Squires bowls forward, is able to break through one tackle, and it picks up just a couple of yards to the 39-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5, and that's where Arrowhead will take their first time out of the game with 2:50 remaining. They trail Hudson by 3. Hudson with a 3rd and 5, ball at the Arrowhead 39-yard line, and still for Hudson here, field position game. You force Arrowhead to use a timeout there. You stay in bounds here even if you don't get the first down. You force them to use it, and then you try and pin them very far back deep.
Well, absolutely, Don. I mean, best case scenario, what you do is you get the first down, and you get a fresh set of downs. You continue to milk clock. It's going to force put even more pressure on the Warhawks to use those timeouts. This is a huge play here. I don't think you go for it on 4th. It's a field position game. You're sitting on a very tenuous, slim 3-point lead here. Heartland has really moved the ball much better in the second half than they did for the biggest part of the first half, particularly the first quarter. This is huge here. This is where power football, I don't know if you try anything fancy here. Regardless, you keep it in bounds. You do not run anything out of bounds to stop that clock.
Yeah, you can run some time off here, or at least force Arrowhead to use that 2nd timeout, which could be crucial. Stubendick under center, the option off to the left side. Stubendick's going to keep it, going to try and cut inside, and he's going to get nowhere. No gain for Stubendick, but he stays in bounds. And see if Arrowhead takes that 2nd timeout. Now Fritz Rauch says yes. Hey, I want that 2nd timeout. And with 2:34 remaining, Arrowhead is granted the 2nd timeout. They trail 33-30. To Hudson. Hudson now with a 4th down and 6, as it looks like they say that Stubendick lost a yard on that play. And now what do you do if you're Hudson? Is this where you just try and pooch it and get them back as far back as you can? Do you try and go for it here, knowing you're not going to run time off the clock? If you get the first down, you've got it made, but high risk, high reward on a 4th down play in this situation.
Yeah, these are the decisions that, these are win-loss decisions here, and you can go pro and con either way. Traditionally, Coach Cowles has been a coach that rolls the dice on 4th down. 4th and 4. I mean, it'd be different if it was 4th and 1. It's 4th and 4, and I think they actually lost. Yeah, that's a long 4. I think it's closer to 4th and 5. But it looks like they are going to punt.
And they're going to actually send out Devin Dalton to punt this one away. Now, important here, Arrowhead has gotten very close to blocking several Hudson punts,
yes,
and
that
have. Would be disaster at this point in time.
They have to get off a successful punt here. No question about it.
Arrowhead moving a couple returners back. Dalton hunched over, awaiting the snap. Snap right to his helmet, and he's able to get off a high punt, angling towards the far sideline. It hits at the 10 and then takes a bit of an Arrowhead bounce to the 12. So just a 26-yard punt, but you have Arrowhead having to go 88 yards in 2 minutes and 25 seconds, or at least get into field goal range in that amount of time with just one timeout remaining.
Well, yeah, this is nail-biting time for both of these two fine teams. We're 2:25 to go. Hudson holding on to a 3-point lead. Heartland Arrowhead had to burn 2 out of their 3 timeouts, just the 1 timeout. Clock does stop with the movement of chains as an offense trying to get a lot of yards with not a lot of time to work with. You can utilize that. But this is the Hudson defense's game to win. 3 consecutive losses to Heartland Arrowhead. This is their chance. If they shut them down here, they come out with an upset win.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right for Case. 2 backs in the backfield. Handoff to Papandrea. Big hole up the middle. Papandrea dragging a tackler with him up across the 20 to the 24-yard line. A pickup of a dozen on the play and a first down.
Well, Papandrea has been doing it all night. Hudson has just been unable to stop him as he's approaching 250 yards of offense. The clock continuing to run now.
2:10 to play, 3-point Hudson lead. Arrowhead with the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Case takes the snap, looking to pass, going for it all, has his receiver and off his hands again. Mitchell Barris drops a second one in the game, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and 10, and Barris on the ground holding his right knee. They're going to need to get a trainer over there to take a look at him.
And the pass was there, and Barris, that would have been absolutely huge. That would have been a minimal, 30-yard gain. 2:01 to go.
On a nice little wheel route that Barris ran and got free. He got lost behind that Hudson defense. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right for Arrowhead. 2nd and 10 from their 24. Case takes it, looking to pass, a delay. Gives to Papandrea. Papandrea across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Spencer Schmidt with a big tackle there. A gain of 8, 3rd down and 2.
Most importantly, they kept him from getting the first down. The clock continuing to run. 1:45 to go. Hudson clinging to that 3-point lead.
3rd down and 2. Ball at the 32-yard line of Arrowhead. They trail by 3. Handoff. Straight up the gut, and the first down picked up by Hastings as he gets up to the 39-yard line. A gain of 7 by Hastings and a fresh set of downs, but under a minute and a half to play.
And you see the Heartland Arrowhead kicker down there.
Alex Norris.
That's Alex Norris getting ready for a potential game-tying field goal.
Going for the touchdown, Becker, and a lot of contact. Do flags come out? No. The officials have been calling this one loose on contact downfield, and Heartland and Hudson may have gotten away with one there.
They might have, and I know Heartland Arrowhead got away with one earlier in the game, on what to me was a very costly no call.
Colander on the coverage, looked like he might have hooked the arm of Becker. Becker looking to the sideline still with his palms up in the air, but it's 2nd down and 10. Ball at the Heartland Arrowhead 39-yard line. 76 seconds to play. It's a 3-point Hudson lead. Handoff goes to Hastings. A keeper by Case, and Case is going to be dropped.
Very strange
after
play.
A gain of just a yard or 2 on the tackle for Hudson. Great job by Jacob Morissette.
Well, the Warhawks potentially trying to catch Hudson off guard, but they would have none of his. Now we slipped down under a minute to go.
3rd down and 8. Ball at the 41-yard line of Arrowhead. And the snap is bad. It's picked up by Papandrea, I think. Yes, it is. It's going to be a loss of 3 yards and a 4th down for Heartland Arrowhead, and they're going to have to use their final timeout here as they have a 4th and 12 coming up here, John. Otherwise, Hudson will be able to claim their first victory in this series.
And two tough plays for Heartland Arrowhead, the last 2, some kind of a botched snap there and a quarterback keeper, I guess, on the previous play. Very odd play call. Again, trying to catch Hudson off guard as they were dropping everybody back, anticipating the pass. And, it's all on the line right now. Just to recap where we're at, the Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks down 33-30. Hudson holding a 3-point lead. This is the 4th time these 2 teams have met in the last 5 years. Hudson trying for the first time to knock off this powerhouse program, Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks here in Heartland. It's been a back-and-forth game. Hudson jumped out to an early 17-0 lead. Heartland Arrowhead came storming back, and 2 gutsy drives by Hudson has pulled them ahead late. Biggest play of the season thus far right now.
And Arrowhead comes out with trips to the left. J.J. Emke is the tight end on the right side of the formation. Papandrea to the left of Case. Case looking. Case into the flat and dropped.
It.
A great attempt by Robert Tetzloff at midfield, but he couldn't hold on the diving catch attempt. And there it is, Hudson celebrating on the far sideline with 40 seconds left to play. They'll just have to take a couple knees, and they will take down the number 2 team in the state in Division I, Heartland Arrowhead, 33-30. At Arrowhead on their turf after that long drive all the way across the state, John.
Amazing. It was worth every second of the drive down here, and I can hear the claps and the cheers and the jumps for joy all the way down here at Heartland, back home in Hudson. I know a lot of you are on online tonight. Huge win, a gutsy win, a character-building win for this Hudson Raider team. It took them 5 years and 4 tries. They finally knocked off Heartland Arrowhead.
And there's the first knee. They'll have to take one more, I believe, by the time they set it and blow it into play here. And what a performance by Hudson. A couple of times, if you didn't have a short memory, if you thought back to last year's game, for these kids out there, that could have gotten under their skin and in their head a little bit, John, but they fought it. They fought it away, and they held on, and they took down the powerhouse in Arrowhead, the Warhawks, on their home turf, 33-30, the number 7 team in the state in Hudson, coming off of a disappointing season last year, and they are all out at midfield celebrating their victory over Arrowhead, and sweet revenge finally comes for the Hudson Raiders. And what a bus ride home that's going to be. You might want to change your plans. Maybe call a car hauler and hop that bus back up there with them, John.
Oh, it's great, especially, when I look back. Lost to them in the state semifinals in 2012. Graduated 40 seniors. Lost the opening game in 2013 to the Minnetonka Skippers. Lost our 2 starting running backs. Went on an unpredicted winning streak. Got all the way back to the state semifinal game the next year in 2013, only to be outdone again by the Heartland Arrowhead Warhawks two times back-to-back years, preventing this Raider team getting into that state championship game. Hudson led a 20-point lead in the third quarter, slip away last year at home against Heartland, but they finally sealed the deal. Those 2 drives they put together after Heartland had taken the lead in the second half were the 2 gutsiest offensive drives I've seen Hudson put together in the 6 years I've called Hudson football. And I can tell you the great games, that the character-building games, the marquee, games. It's this one, the big-time win against Appleton North in the sectional final back in 2013 when they stopped Appleton North as time ran out inside the 1-yard line. The big season-ending win at home that sealed the second straight conference championship against the Menominee Mustangs that came in number 1 ranked in Division II. Those 3 games, this one ranks up there with any of them. A huge win, an exciting game, a great game, and wow, if you're a Hudson Raider fan, they finally did it.
And now they're going to have a little special celebration out there at the 40-yard line. What a big victory in this program's history. And now they're running towards their fans that are waiting for them along the railing on the far bleachers. A 33-30 victory for the Hudson Raiders over the Arrowhead Warhawks as the number 7 team in Division I takes down the number 2 team, and something that people are going to see as a big shocker when they start reading these scores coming in on Twitter.